Chapter 1176, Lord Scythe. If you defeat an old member in a fair duel, a new member can replace you. As the knight system continued to improve, there would definitely be an explosion of level 1 knights in the future. If he wanted to stabilize his throne, he would have to work hard and improve. Now, the knights had 7 knights at level 3 and above. In the wizard world, this was considered a relatively powerful third circle. As for the knights, they had only developed for more than 100 years. On the side of the ancient tower. After staying in the giant axe canyon for nearly 3 years, Levi's subordinates had dug 3 feet deep into the canyon. On this day, the scythe breath in Levi's hand completely disappeared and fused into Levi's mind. A warm current flowed through the Divine Ring Tower. The rotation of the Divine Ring Tower began to accelerate. Within it, dazzling spiritual force stars condensed one after another. 390, 391, 392. Even when the 400th spiritual force star was born, the rising momentum did not stop. In the end, Levi had 406 spiritual force stars. Hiss! What was going on? Can refining a truth oddity directly increase one's spiritual force? Levi was puzzled. According to the information he had found, the scythe breath had 4 functions. It increases the upper limit of spiritual force, increases the power of wind-type spells, increases hearing, and can communicate with the flying scythe beast. However, increasing the upper limit of one's spiritual force did not mean that it would directly increase the level of one's spiritual force. It only expanded the volume of the container. It seems like the scythe breath has a 5th function for me. It can increase my spiritual force by 16 points, which is equivalent to 3 years of hard work. Levi was in a good mood and took out a brand new Klein crystal ball from his storage bag. The crystal ball he had bought as an apprentice was outdated and inaccurate. The later versions could even reflect the upper limit of spiritual force. Spiritual force, 406/530. Spell power, 20,300. As expected, the upper limit of my spiritual force has increased. Under normal circumstances, the limit of a standard 4th circle wizard's spiritual force was 500 points. Levi had previously consumed Water Dragon's Song, which increased his upper limit by 10 points. Now, the scythe breath had caused the upper limit to increase by 20 points. A total of 30 points. What kind of concept was this? This meant that when Levi advanced to the primordial soul stage, his success rate would be 3% higher. One had to know that this was an advancement to the primordial soul realm. Even a 1% increase was a huge improvement. At the same time, it also meant that Levi had already attained the spiritual force of a 5th circle before he had even advanced to the 5th circle. It was just that he had yet to complete the qualitative change of the crystal phase. This is awesome. As expected of a truth oddity. And this is only an Earth grade 1. If it's a sky or morning star level 1, it should be even more heaven-defying. As for bright moon, radiant sun, and even the legendary ones, Levi did not even dare to think about it. No wonder people said that the truth oddities were divine weapons that could change fate. Those who obtained it were all hot shots. Moreover, even though they were all Earth grade, they were divided into different levels. Water Dragon's Song was obviously inferior to Scythe Breath. Although Levi had only seen these 2 truth oddities before, he felt that the Scythe Breath should be one of the best among the Earth grade. His 3 years of waiting had not been in vain. Because of this, he had become the evil Death Wizard Bone King, bearing the infamy. This thing can also increase the power of wind-type spells. My current wind-type spell is only Wind Dragon Scamper. Let's see how effective it is. With a thought, the airflow surged. His figure flashed and disappeared from where he was, leaving only an explosive sound behind him. I'm faster now. Levi arrived at the canyon. The wind was ravaging the area, causing his ears to twitch. In the strong wind, he could hear whispers hundreds of kilometers away. These voices were like children, extremely tender. Lord Scythe has been born. Let's go and see him. Let's go and see his lord. Where? Where is he? Flying Scythe Beast's graveyard. But Lord Sawkins told us not to go to the Flying Scythe Beast's graveyard. Otherwise, our lives might be in danger. But our Lord Scythe is indeed there. What should we do? What should we do? I'll ask Lord Sawkins to bring us there. Levi was pleasantly surprised. The Flying Scythe Beast was a small beast with relatively low intelligence. It could not communicate with humans at all. However, he could hear the conversation of the Flying Scythe Beasts in the valley. It was as if he had become a flying scythe beast. As expected, my hearing has improved a lot. Furthermore, I became the leader of this group of the flying scythes in the canyon. As for Sawkins, it should be the name of that big green crab. A transcendent creature that can give itself a name must have a good bloodline. Levi thought for a moment and returned to the flying scythe beast's graveyard. Now that he had obtained the rare item, he was not afraid that it would be snatched away. He was also preparing to leave the giant axe canyon. The next day, gold miner Guillermo arrived at the graveyard. Master, other than the place where the big green crab is entrenched, all the ores in the giant axe canyon have basically been dug up by us. Levi took the 3 storage rings. The first one was wind sand, which was 2,000 pounds in total. The second was mist sand, which was 50 caddies in total. The third was the void sand. This was very little, only about 3 caddies. Levi couldn't close his mouth from laughing. If these ores were placed outside, who knew how much they would sell for? However, he did not lack money at the moment, so he planned to keep it and slowly digest it himself. One had to know that he had a plane and 3 major factions behind him. Chapter 1177. We should stop mining and not be too greedy. We should leave some for the people who come later. Let's prepare to leave, said Levi. He opened the Book of the Undead and put away the undead spirits, Guillermo and Phoenix. He put the corpse demon and alchemical creatures into the storage ring. Then, he would leave the seals of the transcendent creatures that were out for a spin outside, leaving only those that had no place to be sealed. Crimson Horn, Dark Sparrow and Ching Niao all shrank, either wrapping around his arms or standing on his shoulders. It's still not convenient. If only Alice's ring could be opened. These transcendent creatures could not be kept. If they encountered an unexpected situation, Levi had to ensure their safety before he could fight in peace. However, there was no other way now. He could only bring them along like this. 3 days later, Levi removed all the arrays in the flying scythe beast's graveyard, erasing all traces of his existence here. Before he left, at the exit of the canyon, the big green crab seemed to have been waiting for a long time. There was also a large group of flying scythe beasts hiding on the big green crab's body. At this moment, they stretched out their heads furtively and looked at Levi. Lord Scythe. An old voice sounded in Levi's mind. An extremely rare flying scythe beast with a pure white body crawled out. Are you talking to me? Asked Levi. Yes, because you are Lord Scythe. The white flying scythe beast stood up and squeaked. What's the matter? Levi asked. Lord Scythe, please take us away. We've been waiting for a long time. Where do you want to go? We'll go wherever you go. Levi pondered. The next day, at the exit of the giant axe canyon, a large green crab was charging in the sky. Wherever it passed, the wind would sweep away the clouds. The flying scythe beasts and wind chaser birds surrounded it like divine beasts. On the back of the green crab, a tall and sturdy black dragon abomination sat cross-legged, smiling. He, I'm also a dragon with a mount. This is a level 5 transcendent creature. Sawkins, let's go. The world is so big. I'll bring you guys to see it. Levi was in a good mood. Just as he had expected, he had become the king of the flying scythe beasts in this canyon. They had lived here for generations, waiting for the scythe breath to be born and take them away. Unexpectedly, Levi had refined the scythe breath and replaced it with his identity. Now, Levi had thousands of flying scythe minions. These little guys, don't look down on their small size, they would be genuine level 1 creatures when they matured. If this was in the Dusk Holy Temple, it would be equivalent to the level of a halberd knight. Now, he had actually controlled 1,000 of them at once. Of course, half of them were immature flying scythe beasts, and their strength was only at the level of apprentice wizard. Even so, this was still a considerable force. However, to Levi, the greatest use of these flying scythe beasts was not to fight head-on, but to act as his spies. As the favored child of the wind, the flying scythe beast could freely enter and exit the material plane's windstorm lair. This was something that many low and intermediate wizards could not do. With them, Levi's treasure hunting and scouting abilities in the Dark Ancient Tower would be greatly improved. Moreover, no one would pay attention to the flying scythe beasts flying through the high-altitude wind disaster zone. They would never have thought that this was Levi's surveillance drone. Now, it seemed that this was the correct way to open the scythe breath. The other functions could only be said to be side effects. As for the big green crab named Sawkins, he was blinded by the money Levi gave him. Levi had given too much. Levi told Sawkins that his hometown had countless gold and gems. He could even use gold to build a palace for Sawkins to live in. The kind and greedy Sawkins agreed without hesitation. Levi had not expected that the ability to make money could also be used to contract transcendent creatures. He specifically tested Sawkins' bloodline but found that the Rowling crystal could not detect it. Perhaps, this was really a crab that was different from the others. After leaving the Giant Axe Canyon, Levi went to some nearby resource points and even sent out the Flying Scythe Beast team to search for them. In the end, the harvest was better than nothing. He did not waste any more time and headed towards the entrance of the 4th level. Dark Ancient Tower. 5th level. The area of this level was much larger than the previous 4 levels combined. If the first 4 levels were incomplete small worlds, this was a completely new world. On the 5th floor, other than the foreigners who entered the ancient tower, there were also indigenous civilizations of various sizes. These civilizations might have been caused by the creator of the ancient tower transporting the entire world over during the creation of the world. These civilizations would be destroyed by the despicable foreigners every 10,000 years. Therefore, they were constantly dying and being reborn. Now, after hundreds of thousands of years of evolution, the structure of the civilization that dominated the 5th level had basically taken shape. All the civilizations were guarded by beings above level 6. Therefore, even the foreigners did not dare to provoke them. There were the barbarians who were born with great strength, the humans who were widely distributed and had strong adaptability, and the demons who were inextricably linked to the abyss demons. They called the 5th floor the Io continent. It was a wonderful world created by god Io. The barbarians were organized as tribes and were distributed in the northern part of Io. There were endless grasslands, deserts, and snowfields. Chapter 1178, 9 Cities Alliance Rise. Almost every tribe had their own totem beliefs. These totems were usually powerful ferocious beasts that lived there. Their strength was often at level 5 or even level 6. The supreme being among the barbarians was known as the Barbarian King. The central part of the Io continent was occupied by the most powerful human race. The human race had obtained some spells from the despicable foreigners such as the wizard's meditation art and spells. As time passed, a profession called mage spread. Relying on the mages, the humans established a unified Kane Empire here. The Kane Empire was a country where politics and religion were united. The ones who ruled this place were the Church of Chaos and the Church's Order of Chaos. The Pope of Chaos was the supreme ruler of the empire and the most powerful mage. He was known as the Light of Mankind and the Supreme Archmage. However, in the legends of Io, neither the barbarians nor the humans had existed for as long as the demons. Demons lived in the south of Io. According to the Chaos Bible, when Io created the world, it was invaded by the demon gods from other realms. Io relied on divine power to kill the demon gods, and the demon gods' corpses were sealed in the south of Io, suppressed by the endless million mountains. Unfortunately, Io had been asleep for a long time. The seal was loose, and the demonic energy leaked out, forming a brutal demon race. The 7 powerful demon kings led them. The Supreme Archmage's mission was to unite all humans, inherit the will of God Io, lead the church, conquer the barbarians in the north, destroy the demons in the south, and return peace to the continent. The 3 forces were always at war. However, the area it occupied and developed was only the tip of the iceberg of the Io continent. Other than that, there were also many intersection points on Io. That place was rich in resources, but it was also extremely dangerous. A large number of foreigners, black beasts, evil god apostles, and the spokesperson of the hidden experts gathered there. Only the experts of the 3 clans dared to take the risk. On Io continent, the top wizard organizations would usually establish their own forces in the intersection, divide their territory, and compete with the native civilizations. Outsiders above level 6 were not allowed to attack the native civilizations and other participants on the 5th level. Otherwise, they would be severely punished by the Keeper of Order. As long as they didn't provoke any native powerhouses above level 6, they would basically be safe if they worked together. The wizard of the non-large organizations not only had to compete with other wizards but also the Order of Chaos, which was capturing foreigners wantonly. To the Order of Chaos, wizards were called heretics, and evil wizards. The Io continent was surrounded by a vast ocean. It was called the Land of the 4 Seas. On the shore of the West Sea, the flag of the witch's family was fluttering in the air in a wizard camp. A huge 5th circle array protected the camp. A group of witches were stationed here. Some were cultivating, some were chatting, and from time to time, there was sweet laughter. Amongst the chatter, Anya seemed out of place. However, because of his handsome temperament and his primordial soul mother, Triss, he was quite popular with the witches, and from time to time, someone would come to chat with him. After experiencing many battles, Anya's temperament became more mature. If Lady Triss saw this, she would be very pleased. "What are you thinking about?" A witch walked over. It was the Phantom Witch. "It's nothing." Anya smiled. "Get ready," the Phantom Witch said, "we'll have to go on a mission when the Snow Lotus Witches team returns." Anya nodded. The team of the witches family was divided into two types, the explorers and the garrisons. They took turns. The other top organizations were similar. Every top organization had sent at least 20 to 30 people in. Some of the more powerful ones, such as the Burning Faction's 9 Cities Alliance, sent nearly 300 wizards. The Phantom Witch said, "I just heard from the leader that half a month ago, the 9 Cities Alliance sent 30 people led by the Fire Dragon Destroyer. With the advantage of numbers, they destroyed a native organization that believed in evil gods and easily took down one of the intersection points, the Holy Fire Plateau. In this battle, 3 level 5 cult leaders were killed and they obtained a large amount of resources. They even obtained 3 truth oddities. The Fire Dragon Destroyer had even killed a level 5 mixed blood fire dragon crazy fire dragon beast, who was guarding the cult's treasure vault. I estimate that his ranking has already surpassed some ordinary 5th circle wizards. With his talent, he will be able to advance to 5th circle within 3 to 5 years. At that time, he will probably have to compete with those veteran 5th circle wizards for the throne of the first place on the Earth rankings." Hearing this, Anya's face was filled with worry. He said, "Compared to the disciplined Burning School of Thought, the other 3 traditional schools are fighting for themselves. If this goes on, I'm afraid that the 9 Cities Alliance will dominate in the future." The next day, outside the stronghold, 5 streaks of light flew over. The one leading them was the Snow Lotus Witch who had a cold expression. The 5th circle wizard Jim came out to welcome her with a smile. "Your Excellency Snow Lotus, how was your harvest?" The Snow Lotus Witch waved her hand, and an amethyst fell to the ground, emitting a beautiful luster. Other than that, there were also some elemental metals, herbs, and so on. "Hiss! You actually killed a peak level 4 amethyst race clansman." Jim's expression changed slightly. Chapter 1179, Trap at the 4th floor teleportation portal. Snow Lotus Witch was extremely talented, but it was still very difficult for her to kill an amethyst race member at the peak of level 4 in an actual battle. "It's not a big deal," the Snow Lotus Witch said lightly, "I just killed one. As far as I know, the Fire Dragon Destroyer has already killed 3, and the Golden Light Wizard has also killed 2. I'm still far from it. It's still very impressive. Yet, you're really amazing. As expected of the descendant of a primordial soul wizard. I'm ashamed of my inferiority. Snow Lotus Witch's ranking will definitely rise a lot." For a moment, a bunch of sincere and flattering voices sounded. They watched as the Snow Lotus Witch entered the wizard tower to rest. Anya sighed inwardly, this group of people. They're really trying to curry favor with the powerful. However, he had to admit that being able to single-handedly kill an amethyst race member of the same cultivation level was enough for her to be proud of herself. In any case, he did not have the strength to do so at the moment. Nowadays, the geniuses of the top organizations all regard hunting the amethyst race members as their honor certificate. However, those who truly achieved it were as rare as phoenix feathers and Kylan horns. Most of those who encountered the amethyst race members threw away their armor and fled in a sorry state. I wonder what Levi's current strength is. I hope that I can catch up to him after I return from the ancient tower. I'll strive to perfect my 6 talents and step into the 5th circle realm. Northern part of Io continent. Barbarian territory. In the Heavenly Ant tribe. The Heavenhorn barbarian king who was famous in Io came from this tribe. Their tribe's totem was called the Ant God. On this day, outside the Ant God tribe, a white-robed witch quietly appeared. It was Ice Phoenix Ferlin. In her palm, a crystal-clear frost dragon centipede looked at the tribe in front of it, its body trembling. The Ice Phoenix did not know whether to laugh or cry. The good news is that the Heaven Crystal Dragon Ant is on the 5th level. The bad news is that it has become the totem of the Heavenly Ant tribe and is guarded by a barbarian king who is comparable to a primordial soul wizard. Forget it, let's give further thought to this matter. On the fourth floor of the ancient tower, what he saw was a boundless blue sea. On an uninhabited island, a blue teleportation portal floated. Two wizards were hiding in the shadow dimension around the teleportation portal. They were wearing the robes of the shadow circle. One of them had reached perfection in the fourth circle realm, while the other was a senior fourth circle. The one who reached perfection in the fourth circle realm was called Shadow Crocodile, and the one who was a senior fourth circle was Shadow Hound. As the top wizard organization of the Shadow School of Thought, the Shadow Circle had also sent many people this time. The two of them were arranged to be here to intercept the wizards who had broken into the fourth floor and kill them for their treasures. How could it be faster to find resources through hard work than to snatch them from others? Using this method, the Shadow Crocodile and Shadow Hound had already killed several wizards and foreign races. Of course, if they felt that they were facing a tough opponent, such as the Amethyst race members, they would hide far away. There are fewer and fewer wizards coming to the fourth floor. It looks like the remaining people don't have the strength to come up, said Shadow Hound. Let's wait for another year. If there's no one else, we'll go to the fifth level, Shadow Crocodile said in a hoarse voice. On the third floor of the ancient tower, at the entrance of the teleportation portal, two fourth circle senior wizards were pacing back and forth, seemingly hesitating whether they should head to the fourth floor. They were members of a fifth circle wizard organization. Not long ago, their leader, a four-circle senior wizard with 5 talents, died not long after entering the fourth floor. Therefore, they suspected that there was someone blocking the door and that they were at least at the fourth circle and had attained perfection. For a moment, they were in a dilemma. Suddenly, an arrogant figure arrived. He was tall and burly, holding a purple spiked club. On its shoulder, there was a black sparrow on the left and a green bird on the right. There was also a red horned snake wrapped around its arm, and there was a big bag on its back. He looked like he had gained a lot. It was the travel-worn Levi. In order to not attract attention, he had already sealed Sawkins in Gargamel's book. Otherwise, a level 5 transcendent creature would be too eye-catching, and it would inevitably attract the attention of others with ulterior motives. As for the flying scythe beasts, they were temporarily carried by Levi in a big bag. He would release them after they passed through the portal. He, all of you, move aside. I'm going to break through. Levi laughed strangely and came to the checkpoint. When the dragon attacked, the two wizards fled. Hurry up and leave, it's dragon abomination. It actually brought a group of pets with it. Looks like it doesn't know that if too many people pass the third level at the same time, it will directly trigger the violent mode of the Gale Swordsman. Tisk, 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 let alone a fourth circle wizard, even a peak 4 circle wizard wouldn't be able to get away with it. Dragon abomination is different from us wizards. He is just a lunatic with well-developed limbs. He definitely wouldn't have made a strategy before coming and would have relied on brute force to barge in. However, if this dragon abomination can charge through, he should be able to attract the attention of the person blocking the door. We can take advantage of the moment when both parties are fighting and escape. Why don't we remind this dragon abomination, otherwise he won't be able to break through. All right. Just as Levi was about to clear the trial, the voice of a wizard came from behind him. Dragon abomination. Oh no, buddy, the guardians of this level will adjust their combat strength according to the number of challengers. If you want to go over, I suggest you put down your pets. In the guardian's judgment, these pets are also considered challengers. Dragon abomination turned around and said with a ferocious expression, Scram, looking down on us, dragon abomination, right? I'm in a good mood now, so I won't tear you apart. Hurry up and get lost. The faces of the two wizards in the distance darkened. Dragon abomination simply treated their good intentions as ill intentions. Chapter 1180, 4th level of the Dark Ancient Tower. Just wait to fail. That's right. These alien races are really arrogant. The two of them cursed and swore, preparing to watch Dragon abomination make a fool of himself. Levi tilted his mouth and slowly walked over with his spiked club, exuding a domineering aura. In front of the teleportation portal, a swordswoman in silver armor appeared. Her body was translucent like a gas creature. Obviously, this was not a real human, but a wind element spirit. She stretched out her hand, and the airflow condensed into a long sword. At the same time, her aura, which was originally comparable to a 4th circle senior, began to rise. It only stopped when it was at perfection for the 4th circle and was infinitely close to the 5th circle. Levi shot out and raised the spiked club in his hand high. Get lost! He swung his spiked club. The most extreme brute force, the simplest attack. An invisible gust of wind swept out, causing the swordswoman's long hair to flutter as her gas body began to transform. Boom! The spiked club clashed with her long sword. Kaka! It was just one strike. Her long sword began to shatter, scattering into countless air currents. The spiked club smashed into her armor, shattering it and sending it flying. The swordswoman was sent flying 1,000 meters away, scattering into a cloud of wind elements. Levi casually stepped into it and disappeared. The jaws of the two wizards in the distance almost fell to the ground. Why is the Creator so unfair? We've worked hard to cultivate for hundreds of years. Spells, knowledge. We have studied so much, yet we can't compare to this damned alien. Cultivate? Cultivate my ass. Quick, don't chatter anymore. Let's take this opportunity to rush over as well. On the other side of the teleportation portal, Levi walked out. The word invincible seemed to be written on his face, and his dragon abomination temperament was unobstructed. Finally, the fourth floor. A portion of the map of the fourth floor appeared in his mind. Next, the first thing we need to do is to find the water-type mixed blood dragon, and then look for other resources and treasures. He took a step forward and flew forward. Right at this moment, something unexpected happened. Around Levi, in the shadow dimension, two black shadows surrounded him and instantly attacked him. Shadow's Jaw. Sky-piercing Shadow Blade. Two fourth circle innate spells surrounded Levi flawlessly, sealing his movements. Immediately after, dense spell attacks came from all directions. It was obvious that he was familiar with this and had done it many times. Tisk tisk tisk, the dragon scales of a level 4 dragon abomination should be able to be used as a material for crafting weapons. Shadow Hound laughed as he cast a spell. The purple spiked club in its hand just now is not bad. It should be made of high-quality materials. I feel like I've seen it before, said Shadow Crocodile. With their strength, if they launched a sneak attack, other than the amethyst race, even the thick-skinned dragon abomination would be heavily injured if not dead. An instant later, a mocking voice suddenly sounded behind Shadow Crocodile and Shadow Hound. What are you two attacking? When the spell fluctuations dissipated, they realized that there was nothing at the place where they had attacked. A black-scale dragon abomination flew out from the scarlet dark dimension, and the spiked club in its hand was swung high. The strong wind tore apart the clouds in the sky. Boom! This strike was earth-shattering. Shadow Hound exploded into a bloody mist, dead beyond words. Shadow Crocodile relied on a wizard tool to dodge the attack. He looked at the purple rod shadow in front of him and suddenly understood. This spiked club of yours was refined from the body of an amethyst race member. That's right. The bullshit strongest race is only worthy of being my weapon. But you are not worthy of anything. Flee. Shadow Crocodile only had one thought. Dragon abomination, who was able to kill a member of the amethyst race, was not something that an ordinary perfection fourth circle cultivator like him could contend against. Heaven's favored sons might have better luck. Unfortunately, it was too late. Levi swung his club again. However, this time, it was as if he was playing baseball, and a black and red spiral fireball was shot out. Strike! The mushroom cloud soared into the sky, and the island trembled. Shadow Crocodile's force field was shattered, and the wizard tool had long been shattered. I am the Shadow Circle. A large hand suddenly appeared and shattered his force field, taking his head off. What kind of strength does he have to block the door? Levi felt disdain in his heart. After he came out of the teleportation portal, he discovered that someone was hiding nearby through his danger perception. He packed up his spoils of war, cleaned up the battlefield, and left. Not long after, the two wizards on the third floor appeared through the teleportation portal. They looked at the small island that was beyond recognition and charred by the terrifying high temperature and dragon abomination's back that was far away. They were shocked. Tell me, how can I become a dragon abomination? First of all, you have to have a dragon father. On the other side, Levi found a place and counted his spoils of war. He discovered that these two Shadow School of Thought wizards had quite a lot of good stuff. Just the ether stones alone is worth 2 million. It seems that these two fellows have used this method to kill many of their fellow wizards. Truly shameless, this level of morality is even inferior to me, this dragon abomination. Other than the ether stones, there were also many resources and wizard tools. Amongst these treasures, the one that made Levi the most gratified was actually a piece of flame metal. This was the level 5 fire element metal that Levi needed. I can reforge the Crimson Dragon Slash now. As Levi flew, he searched for a suitable forging location. The fourth layer was a world of water similar to the endless sea. Many sea beasts were wandering in the sea. Mink whale, blood-toothed shark, glass turtle. Along the way, Levi encountered many sea beasts. Even though they were not mixed blood dragons, he still wanted to bring them back and raise them. Unfortunately, Alice's ring could not be opened. This made him feel rather regretful. He looked at the beasts and sighed. After traveling thousands of miles away from the teleportation portal, Levi found a small island with a volcano. After setting up an array, he began to forge in seclusion. 3 months passed quickly. Above the island, there would be some wizards or foreign races flying across the sky from time to time. There were more wizards on the 4th floor than on the 3rd floor. The 5th floor was a huge threshold. Those who could enter were either members of a top organization, 5th circle wizards, or wizards who have achieved perfection in the 4th circle realm. Ordinary 4th circle senior wizards could not enter at all. Many wizards who were lucky enough to reach the 4th floor could only stay there. If one were to look at it from God's perspective of this water world, one would discover that all the currents on the 4th level were gathering in the direction of the center. At the center of the world, the ocean currents from all directions gathered together and soared into the sky, forming a pillar of ocean currents that were thousands of miles wide. The top of the ocean currents spread out like a world tree. At the top of the world tree was a huge island surrounded by floating islands. It was called an island, but it was as vast as a continent. The explorers called it the Sea Continent. The islands around the continent were the Celestial Ring archipelagos. Apart from the vast ocean, half of the resource points on the 4th level were on these sky islands. The competition here was quite intense. Some important resource points were basically occupied by 4th circle or even 5th circle wizards. From time to time, some figures would leave the continent and flee into the sea. It was obvious that they had failed in the competition and were being pursued by the enemy. At the edge of the sea, on the volcanic island that stood aloof from the world, Levi was sweating profusely. After thousands of times of tempering, the brand new red longsword buzzed in front of him, and the Crimson Emperor Dragon totem on it became even more vivid. After recasting, the Crimson Dragon Slash had been reborn and was completely different from before. The grade of his divine weapon had already reached level 4. This meant that the divine weapon had increased Levi's strength by a terrifying 50%. The Crimson Dragon Slash is my trump card. I won't show it to others easily. With my current strength, the Black Dragon Rod can wipe out most of the enemies on the 4th level. Levi left the island and released the flying scythe beasts from the big bag on his back. He commanded, "Go to the sea. You will be my eyes." "All right, Lord Scythe." Scythe was the god of the flying scythe beasts. Levi could feel what the flying scythe beasts saw and heard. With them, Levi's efficiency in finding resources, treasures, and extraordinary creatures would be greatly increased. He released Sawkins. "Go to the floating islands in the center and indulge yourself and rob as you wish. Don't worry, I will follow you in secret and protect you." With its intelligence, Sawkins immediately understood what Levi meant and gestured with its huge pincers. Levi smiled and said, "Don't worry, I'm not lying to you. Those people all have fate coins. If they don't have it, I'll compensate you double when we return to my hometown." The big green crab immediately waved its huge claws and flew away with the wind. Levi carried his spiked club and disappeared into the sea. Chapter 1181, Renia advances to 5th circle. Year 1170 of the Holy Brilliance calendar, month of flowers. Dark Ancient Tower, 4th floor, Sea Continent. After several years of development, the mainland, along with the surrounding Celestial Ring archipelagos, had been divided among the 5 forces of the One Surpassing 4. Sea Covenant, Burning Battle Group, Colossus Divine Tower, Thunder God's Hammer, Valley of 1,000 Wines. Among them, the Sea Covenant led by the 6 Towers of the Endless Sea and led by the Ocean School of Thought was the most powerful. The 4th floor was the home ground of the Ocean School of Thought. However, due to the existence of the Sea Continent, the resources here didn't belong just to the Ocean School of Thought. Therefore, the top wizard organizations of the other guilds sent a portion of wizards to guard the 4th floor. Thus, the current situation of One Surpassing 4 was formed. Of course, the Shadow School of Thought, Bronze School of Thought, School of Death, and others also had their own forces stationed there, but they were relatively weaker. Without a powerful organization, only those who attained perfection with 4th circle or even 5th circle were qualified to dominate the mainland and take a share of the profits. Apart from that, although the Amethyst race, Dragon Abomination, and the other races had a small number of people, they were powerful foreign tribes who always came to the sea continent to cause trouble. In short, under the generally stable situation, undercurrents surged. The ones who suffered the most were still the unorganized nomadic wizards and the weak foreign races. The various forces had already divided up the cake, leaving nothing for them. They were either searching for resources on the vast sea or sneaking around in the territory of these wizard organizations. Most of them chose to join large organizations and become their temporary workers to earn some leftovers. On the sea, ferocious and powerful sea beasts often appeared. There were even grade 6 aquatic beast kings hiding in the deep sea, dominating an area and turning many resource points into restricted areas. The place occupied by the Sea Covenant was the western continent of the Sea Continent. The 6 towers divided the resource points equally, each occupying some. They agreed not to disturb each other, but they could invade the eastern continent, which was the territory of the other top 4. Thunder Mountains. This was the territory of the Letny family, one of the 6 towers. It was guarded by a 5th circle wizard from the family, and there were dozens of 4th circle wizards below. In reality, there were only 5 official members. The person sent here by the Letny family was the Golden Thrower Godfrey. He was already more than 900 years old and was already in his later years as a 5th circle wizard. However, he was still an ordinary 5th circle wizard. It was difficult for him to make any progress and he did not have much potential in the future. He had 2 children, the youngest son, Geoffrey Leo, and the eldest daughter, Renia. Geoffrey Leo was 270 years old, a 4th circle ordinary wizard. His talent was not bad, and he should have no problem becoming a 5th circle wizard. Renia was different. She was 300 years old and had already attained perfection in the 4th circle realm. She had obtained an Earth-grade Truth Oddity, Dance of the Thunder Butterfly, in the Thunder Mountain range a few days ago. Now that she had refined it, today was the day she came out of seclusion. Not long after, a golden light shot over and appeared in front of Godfrey. It was Renia. She was 2 meters tall and had a well-proportioned body. She was holding a 5th circle wizard tool, Golden Thunder Spear, and golden lightning surrounded her like a Valkyrie. Renia's rough voice said, "Father, I've already advanced to the 5th circle realm. I plan to use a year to consolidate my realm before heading to the 5th level. This time, I will definitely bring honor to you and the family." Godfrey laughed heartily and was in a good mood. "Good, good. The student has surpassed the master. In another 100 years, your strength will surpass mine. Whether or not our branch can gain a firm foothold in the Letny family and advance to the primordial soul realm depends on you, my daughter." "I'm still far from you, father," said Renia modestly. "By the way, where's Geoffrey?" Godfrey said casually. "He got a contract wizard tool left behind by an ancient wizard a few days ago. He found a group of people and went to the sea to look for a level 4 sea beast. Although the sea is very dangerous, my brother does need some experience," said Renia. Godfrey smiled and said, "That's all his talent can bring him to. He'll only be able to advance to 5th circle in his life, so I have let go of it. Renia, father's hope is all with you now. Work hard. I can't accompany you too far in the future. I can only help you pave the way as much as possible. Don't show off when you go to the 5th floor. Be with the main group. Safety first." "I understand, father. However, don't spread the news that I have advanced to the 5th circle." "Understood. This is an ancient tower, so we must preserve some of our strength and trump cards." On the sea, a small group of flying scythe beasts was flying. Their sharp gazes swept across the area. Suddenly, the leading scythe beast found its target. It was a giant turtle the size of an island. It was dozens of meters long and was probably at the peak of level 4. It had a single horn on its forehead, and its head was like a giant dragon. It was lazily lying on a white beach, sunbathing. According to Lord Scythe, this sea beast might contain something that he needed. Found it, found it. Quickly inform Lord Scythe. He, our team discovered it first. Lord Scythe will definitely praise us. That's right. That's right. Sea continent. Eastern continent. The Dark Elf Forest. This place was rich in herbs, especially those plants that like dark and damp places. Chapter 1182, Attacking Shadow Circle. It was said that a powerful dark elf mistress once lived here, and she was a rank 6 existence. Tens of thousands of years ago, when the ancient tower was opened, this mistress, for some unknown reason, had an intense battle with a primordial soul wizard from outside. In the end, the primordial soul wizard killed the dark elf mistress, and this place became a land without a master. Elves were born to grow crops, and they were master of pharmacy. Many of the wizard's potions were imitated from the elves' knowledge. In the middle of the forest, the shadow tower stood tall, and the flag of the shadow circle fluttered above it. This was the shadow circle's base on the 4th floor. The leader was a 4th circle wizard named Shadow Shark. His expression was unsightly. Not long ago, Shadow Crocodile and Shadow Hound had died on the 4th level. He had sent people to search for clues, but they had found nothing. Shadow Crocodile's strength is not weaker than mine. How could he suddenly die? He's not stupid. He wouldn't provoke a 5th circle wizard or a member of the amethyst race. Even if it was Dragon Abomination, he had killed one before. How could this be? Shadow Shark was puzzled. Suddenly, the rumbling of the array sounded outside the camp. Shadow Shark hurriedly led his subordinates to fly out to investigate. Outside the array, a huge crab flew over on clouds and mist. It spat out wind blades and attacked the array. What happened? Asked Shadow Shark. Sir, I'm not sure. A level 5 transcendent creature suddenly appeared and attacked our grand array. Shadow Shark frowned and said, there are only so many level 5 transcendent creatures on this continent. We've never provoked them before. It must be the enemy who set us up. Everyone, rely on the array to fight the giant beast. In an instant, more than 10 4th circle wizards flew out from all over the place. They were all members of the Shadow Circle or temporary workers. High up in the sky, Levi used the Hermit rune to hide in the white clouds. Sawkins is really my good brother. If there's anything, he'll really go for it. Levi was in a good mood. He did not need to do it himself, and it was comfortable. And the price he paid was gold. Money can make the devil turn the millstone. The ancients really did not lie. Quick, the array can't hold on any longer. Which bastard set up this array? Why did it only last for a short while? Shadow Shark's cursing voice sounded. Sir, I was the one who set up the array. There should be no problem. There should be another array expert nearby who tampered with the array. Who are you lying to? There's only one crab nearby. Don't tell me that crabs know arrays too. Shadow Shark's voice was low. It is not impossible. Get lost. Hurry up and set up the array again. While the crowd below was in chaos, Levi was quietly watching the show. He learned the location of the Shadow Circle's base from Shadow Crocodile. There were quite a number of resource points on the 4th floor. Levi planned to hide here for a while and collect some resources before heading to the 5th floor. He would just let Sawkins do whatever it wanted and let Sawkins do all the bad things. It didn't take long for the inferior array to be broken by Sawkins. The big green crab waved its huge pincers and killed a group of 4th circle wizards. Only Shadow Shark could fight against the green crab. The other wizards could not dodge the attack and were directly cut in half. A wizard took advantage of the chaos to escape the attack range of the big green crab and was about to escape. Seeing this, Levi sneered and disappeared into the scarlet dark dimension. The 4th circle wizard flew 100 miles in one breath and could not help but heave a sigh of relief. He was the only array wizard. Damn it, the Shadow Circle has offended a big shot. I'll lie low for now. As he flew, the scarlet dark dimension behind him cracked open and a pitch-black dragon claw extended. Who is it? A moment later, this array wizard had vanished into thin air. Levi returned to the top of the cloud and took out the item to take a look. Not bad, there's actually a 4th circle array inheritance and so many herbs. It seems that the Shadow Circle has earned quite a lot here. These damn top-tier organizations don't give ordinary nomadic wizards a way out. Today, I'll beat up the local tycoons, divide the land, and rob the rich to help myself. Levi did not have a good impression of the Shadow Circle. That was because their people had been trying to assassinate him several times now. It reminded him of the days when he was targeted by the Bird of Death's voice in the human world. Not long after, Sawkins had killed all the wizards in the Shadow Circle's encampment. Its huge pincers were bathed in blood and turned into a red crab. Sawkins arrived at the top of the clouds, and Levi's figure appeared. He collected the spoils of war on the ground and found that there were indeed some dusty fate coins in these people's storage rings. I didn't lie to you, right? We're family, so we won't lie to each other. Levi handed a box of fate coins to Sawkins, who moved back and forth and happily swallowed all the fate coins into his body. It was still eager to try more. The white elder flying scythe beast in charge of translation said, Sawkins asked where we should go next. Levi patted the big green crab's head and said with a smile, let's take a rest first. There's no hurry. This will be our base from now on. Protect this place well. Sawkins nodded. Before Levi could see what was in their storage rings, he suddenly heard the voice of the flying scythe beast in his mind. Lord Scythe, our turtle has been taken away. Lord Scythe, number 233 is dead. It was as if his mind had exploded. There was a flying scythe beast communicating with Levi. Sawkins, stay here. No one is allowed to approach this area. The big green crab waved its pincers, indicating that it understood. Chapter 1183, Lightless City. Levi left 3 corpse demons and a group of undead spirits here to assist Sawkins while he brought Leon and tore open the Scarlet Dark Dimension, quickly flying towards where the flying scythe beasts were. His expression was cold. How dare someone kill his flying scythe beast believers? No matter who it was, they had to pay the price. Otherwise, wouldn't he be humiliated as the god of the flying scythe beast? Nora. In the Dark Realm. This was the dojo of the Shadow School of Thought. The Shadow School of Thought had once been glorious because they once had a legendary wizard. Of course, now the Shadow School of Thought was considered a second-rate school. Other than a few grand wizards who held positions in the Central Realm, there were no legendary wizards. In the entire guild, there were only 3 top wizard organizations. The Shadow Circle was one of them. What happened? Why would a level 5 transcendent creature attack our base? One of the wizards was puzzled. I don't know. This is too unfair. That's right. A level 5 bullying a level 4 is nothing. The Keeper of Order doesn't care. That big crab might be a native creature. It can attack as it pleases. No one cares. Someone must be controlling it from behind. I've seen this crab before. It was originally on the 3rd level. Why did it suddenly reach the 4th level? Someone must have brought it over. This is cheating. Shadow Tower. A black-robed wizard who was hidden in the shadows watched this scene with a cold expression. Their Shadow Circle's branch on the 4th floor was completely destroyed in just a few months. Shadow Crocodile died a few months ago, and Shadow Shark and the others also died. There must be some connection between them. It should be the doing of that dragon abomination who killed Shadow Crocodile. Preposterous. This large green crab was a Lord-tier creature on the 3rd floor. Over the years, there had been wizards who had tried to take it away through a contract, but all of them had ended in failure. Even the 5th circle wizard had returned resentfully. They don't know what method this damn dragon abomination used to abduct the crab away. This dragon abomination, he speculated that it should be the 3-headed dragon abomination that had gained some fame some time ago. That guy fought 3 people alone and killed 3 amethyst race members. His strength was indeed not bad. He should be at the level of a 5th circle ordinary wizard. I'll let you be arrogant for a while longer. When you enter the 5th level, someone will naturally follow the tracking mark to finish you off. He had already sentenced the 3-headed dragon abomination to death in his heart. He didn't think that dragon abomination, this kind of brawny and simple-minded creature, could get rid of the tracking mark. On the 5th floor, there were 5 5th circle wizards in the Shadow Circle, and one of them had attained perfection in the 5th circle realm. Unless this dragon abomination invited the elders in their race to take action, it would die without a doubt. Dark Ancient Tower. 5th level. In the southern part of the Io continent, where the Montenegro mountain met, the lightless city. As the name suggested, this city had no light. The intersection of Montenegro mountain was covered by dark clouds all year round, and the sun could not be seen. The cultists, evil mages, foreigners, and other forces wanted by the Order of Chaos gathered here. The dominant religion here was the Mountains Church. This was a cult that believed in the Lord of the Mountains. The head of the cult was a level 6 existence, the Deer Head Sage. The residents of Lightless City called him the Mountain God. In a mansion in the city, a few wizards dressed in aboriginal clothing were plotting something big. The leader was a bald old man who looked old. He was the commander of all the 4th and 5th circle wizards in the Shadow Circle of the Ancient Tower. Shadow Dragon Sidias. He had attained perfection in the fifth circle realm and had once failed to break through to the primordial soul realm. He was lucky enough to survive, but he had also cut off the path to the primordial soul realm. Now, in order to unleash the last of his glory, he, who was more than 800 years old, came to the ancient tower to collect resources for the organization. He also had a younger brother, Shadow Wolf Matthias. He said coldly, "Not long ago, the members we left on the fourth floor were all killed, including Shadow Crocodile and Shadow Shark, who had attained perfection in the fifth circle realm." Another fifth circle wizard was shocked and said, "It's already been 5 years, and there's still someone who can kill Shadow Crocodile and Shadow Shark on the 4th level." Shadow Dragon frowned and said, "There's a high chance that it's done by other wizard organizations stationed on the 4th floor. Because we're 2 worlds apart, I'm not sure if the tracking mark is effective. Everyone, pay attention. If the tracking mark is active, then the murderer who killed them must have come to the 5th floor. When the time comes, send 2 5th circle wizards to deal with him and snatch back our resources." Understood. Now, let's get back to business. According to the intelligence, the deer head sage will sleep for a period of time every 100 years. It's said that his soul is communicating with the Lord of the Mountains. This period is the best time for us to make our move. Every 1,000 years, a sky-level oddity language of the night deer will be born at the intersection of Montenegro Mountain. It's the most suitable truth oddity object for the Shadow faction. These natives don't know how to refine the truth oddity at all, so they must have hidden it in the church's treasury. On the 3rd floor of the ancient tower, Levi hurried over and finally arrived at the place where the small group of flying scythe beasts were. Levi found these little guys in the wind disaster stratum. They hid here, shivering. In order to facilitate communication, Levi gave these flying scythe beasts names, numbering them from number 1 to more than 1,000. "What happened?" he asked. "Someone stole the turtle we found first. Number 233 went to argue with them and was killed." Sob, sob. Chapter 1184, Avenging number 233. Flying scythe number 222 cried. It was also injured, but it had recovered. "Who treated your injuries?" Levi asked. "It was a bear," number 222 replied. "Bear?" Levi pondered. It was still a little difficult to communicate with these little fellows. They were just like children. Bear went to chase the bad guys, but it shouldn't be a match for the bad guys. There are too many of them. Where are the bad guys? Number 203 is following the bad guys. Lord Scythe, please look for number 203. Levi patted the flying scythe beasts and comforted them. In the future, if you encounter bad guys that you can't beat, hide in the wind disaster stratum. Don't show off, said Levi. All right, Lord Scythe. Sob, 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 you're so nice. Levi's figure flashed and he flew towards number 203. With the help of the Scarlet Dark Dimension, he soon caught up to number 203. He pulled it to the Scarlet Dark Dimension. Lord Scythe, you're here. Those people are right in front. They took away the turtle we found, and number 233 is dead too. Sob. Oh right, please quickly save Bear. It saved us and healed our injuries. Now, it's been captured by the bad guys. I understand. Find a place to hide. There's going to be blood next. Children can't see it, said Levi. Number 203 obediently hid in the wind disaster stratum and nodded repeatedly. Levi's hermit rune flickered as he chased after them, his heart filled with killing intent. There were 4 wizards flying ahead. The leader was wearing a golden robe with sharp lightning patterns on it. The Letny family? I think I've seen this person before. A long time ago, at the Nether Capital auction, this person fought with the Wild Bone Wizard for Madame Yi's heart potion. Other than that, the other 3 wizards seemed to be nomadic cultivators. There was even a 4th circle senior wizard who was close to attaining perfection in spiritual force, but he still followed the lead of this disciple of the Letny family. Beneath the feet of the 4 wizards, a giant turtle was riding the currents and flying in the air. Upon seeing this, Levi's eyes narrowed. Single-horned dragon turtle, hiss. This isn't a hybrid dragon. This is a genuine sub-dragon species that has hopes of advancing to the primordial soul realm in the future. Damn it, how can I let you steal such a great opportunity from me? If it were anyone else, they might be afraid of his identity as a member of the Letny family and not dare to make a move. Levi was different. He had a lot of debt, but it didn't weigh on him. It had only been 5 years since he entered the ancient tower, but he had already offended the Hurricane Steeple, the Shadow Circle, the Amethyst Race, and even Dragon Abomination. After all, he had always been using the identity of Dragon Abomination to do bad things. Besides, he wanted to avenge number 233. As long as Levi recognized them as his family, even if they were insignificant little beasts, they could not be bullied. Behind one of the fourth circle wizards, a chain was dragging a slightly round bearman. The bearman was covered in injuries and his breathing was weak. The bearman looked like it was part of a fur clan, but they were fundamentally different. They were also wearing clothes similar to the ancient clothes of Levi's previous life. Levi guessed that this might be the Panda clan that the Flower Knight had mentioned. Looks like he saved my scythe beast. Forget it, I'll save him as well. In front. Jeffrey Leo was feeling very pleased with himself. Congratulations on capturing a sub-dragon as your pet today. From now on, you will soar to the sky. The strongest wizard complimented. Thank you, Sir Whitefield. If it weren't for your help, I wouldn't have been able to take down this peak level 4 single-horned dragon turtle. When I return, I will tell my father about this and put in a good word for you in front of him. From now on, you will be friends of the Letney family. No one will dare to provoke you on the 4th floor. Thank you, Sir Geoffrey Leo. Whitefield said with a flattering smile, this one-horned dragon turtle has a long lifespan, even legendary wizards can't compare to it. Although it grows slowly, there are records of it advancing to level 8 in history. It's a top-grade sub-dragon species. It's also good at defense and is very suitable to be the guardian of the family. With this beast guarding Sir Geoffrey Leo's bloodline, there might be a primordial soul guardian in the future. It's really enviable. Ha ha ha, I don't have much hope for primordial soul. It's enough if I can advance to the 5th circle in my lifetime and be famous in the endless sea for a while. The group of wizards chatted and laughed. It was very lively. Suddenly, a dragon claw poked out from the scarlet hole behind Whitefield. The force field on Whitefield's body flickered, but it was instantly shattered. The dragon claw grabbed him into the scarlet crack, and with a miserable cry, Whitefield's breath cut off. Seeing this scene, Geoffrey Leo's expression changed drastically. He took out a golden scroll without hesitation and tore it up. Before the dragon claw could reach him, a golden bolt of lightning struck Geoffrey Leo. In the next moment, his figure disappeared from where he stood, leaving behind a terrified and angry voice. I don't care who you are. You offended my Letney family. On the 4th level, you are seeking death. Teleportation scroll? It seems like he's the child of a big shot. Although he's a good for nothing, he's decisive. He directly gave up on this sub-dragon turtle. He released his spiritual force and sensed that there was no trace of Geoffrey Leo around. It seemed that he had been teleported to a distant place. Who are you? We are the external wizards of the Letney family. A wizard shouted, his face panicking as he frantically fled. Chapter 1185, Collecting the Sub-Dragon Species. He, I am Dragon Abomination. Levi's figure disappeared, and when he reappeared, he was already above the wizard's head. He swung his spiked club. The wizard's force field and wizard tool were all shattered, and he was killed in one hit. In the end, there was only one wizard left sitting on the back of the dragon turtle. Don't kill me. He prostrated on the ground and begged for mercy, not daring to look directly at Dragon Abomination. Levi grabbed him and entered the Scarlet Dark Dimension. After interrogating him for a while and understanding some of the situation, he killed him. Thunder Mountain, Golden Thrower Godfrey, and his son, Geoffrey Leo, I see. Now that he knew where the Letney family was, Geoffrey Leo was definitely crying for his father. The Golden Thrower was only a 5th circle ordinary cultivator, far inferior to Sorit. However, the spells and meditation art of the Letney family were more outstanding. In addition, he had lived for a long time, so his strength should be stronger than Madame Ghost's, but there was a limit to his strength. In that case, I'll go to Thunder Mountain after I'm done here. I'll kill that old thing so that they won't come after me and bother me. Levi already had a plan in mind. After its master escaped, the dragon turtle below remained rooted to the ground. When Levi arrived in front of it, it actually wanted to attack Levi. He released a terrifying dragon's might that swept toward the dragon turtle. The dragon turtle was shocked. It controlled the water current and wanted to escape. It seems that this dragon turtle has been contracted by that kid with a wizard tool. Otherwise, the dragon's might that I just released would be enough to subdue it. I still have to deal with that kid first. Levi had no choice but to go in front of the single-horned dragon turtle. The single-horned dragon turtle charged at Levi. Levi stood in the air and put down his spiked club. His muscles bulged and black flames surrounded him. Boom! At the moment of collision, he grabbed the single-horned dragon turtle's head and picked it up. He flew high and smashed it into the sea. Little thing, you're no match for me. I happen to be lacking a mount, so I'll take you. After a round of fighting, Levi did not even breathe heavily, while the dragon turtle was exhausted and could not get up again. It was not a match for Levi to begin with, and it had already exhausted too much of its stamina from Jeffrey Leo and the others. I'll take it home first and let Sawkins watch over it. Levi carried the turtle and the bearman and then rushed back to the dark elf forest. Several days later. Thunder Mountains. Godfrey was counting the resources he had harvested today. That's right. There are so many lightning-type herbs. Moreover, we've discovered a new lightning mine. It's estimated that we can mine more than 100,000 caddies of lightning-refined iron in the future. Just the contribution points exchanged for lightning-refined iron are enough to exchange for a potion to break through to the primordial soul realm for Renia when we return to the family. In the next few decades, I'll mine all the ores in peace. That's enough. Suddenly, a figure with a gloomy expression and an aggrieved expression rushed in. It was Jeffrey Leo. Father, you have to seek justice for me. Jeffrey Leo cried. Godfrey rebuked angrily, what is it? How can you be so flustered? His love for Jeffrey Leo was obviously not as great as Renia's. Jeffrey Leo said, I was bullied by a dragon abomination. That fellow killed 3 of our external wizards. I used the teleportation scroll you gave me to escape. Godfrey's expression changed. What? You actually used that precious teleportation scroll? You little bastard, do you know how rare those scrolls are? I paid a huge price to get these 2 scrolls from the primordial soul elders. Your sister hasn't used them yet. She's letting you go out every day. Sigh, you're really making me mad. Father, I almost lost my life. That's the main point. Jeffrey Leo was furious. Why did his father still care about that scroll? Was he not his biological son? Leave. You asked for it. The Dragon Abomination clan is very powerful. It's impossible for me to provoke a powerful enemy just to avenge you. I have more important things to do now. If you stay in the Thunder Mountains, no one will do anything to you. Godfrey's words were so heartless. Jeffrey Leo's heart was like dead ashes. He said unwillingly, I'm sure that it's only a level 4 dragon abomination. My sister who has attained perfection in the 4th circle realm is enough to kill it, not to mention you. You're a 5th circle wizard. Godfrey cursed, bullshit, you troublemaker. You still want your sister to avenge you? What kind of benefits would this bring? Your sister's only goal is to advance to the primordial soul realm, not to clean up your mess. Go and check the history of the wizard world. How many families have been destroyed because of a troublemaker like you? From now on, you are grounded in the Thunder Mountains until the Dark Ancient Tower closes. You are not allowed to go anywhere. After you return to the Endless Sea, you are not allowed to leave the house until you enter the 5th circle. Jeffrey Leo's heart was filled with anger and even a hint of killing intent. He suddenly felt that he was a joke in his father's eyes. Outside the door, his sister, who was even taller than Jeffrey Leo, pushed the door open and said calmly, Father, let me go. Jeffrey Leo is my younger brother. I won't let the foreign tribes bully him. Level 4 Dragon Abomination, with my current strength, I can handle it. Godfrey replied calmly, No. What if it has other level 5 partners? You've just entered the 5th circle, so it's absolutely impossible for you to be a match for a level 5 Dragon Abomination. You're still young, so you can't be too hot-headed. These insignificant losses, just accept it. Chapter 1186, Attacking the Letney Family. What? Sister, you have attained 5th circle. Jeffrey Leo was shocked. Yes, Renia said calmly. Father, I know you don't care about me, but what I want to say is that I found an underage sub-dragon and successfully contracted it. Now that the sub-dragon has been snatched by that dragon abomination, I originally wanted to give it to sister as a gift. Since that's the case, forget it. Why didn't you say so earlier, you bastard? Godfrey's expression changed. Because you kept scolding me, so I didn't have the chance to say it. You're still talking back to me? Godfrey said angrily. Renia said, Father, that level 4 dragon abomination is very likely to head to the 5th level. I'll go to the teleportation portal to block him. You send people to look for him on the 4th level. If there's a sub-dragon, our branch will definitely prosper for a long time. Alright, go ahead. I can rest assured that you'll do your job. Godfrey laughed. You can stay in the Thunder Mountains for the next few days, he said coldly to Geoffrey Leo. Go mine with external wizards. Alright. Geoffrey Leo was gloomy and left expressionlessly. With elder sister and father taking action, that dragon abomination will not be able to escape even if he has wings. That sub-dragon is mine too. The Dark Elf Forest. Levi descended from the sky. The one-horned dragon turtle was thrown to the ground, and Sawkins came over upon hearing it. Sawkins, look after this turtle. I'm going away for a few days, said Levi. Where am I? The bearman woke up and asked in confusion. Hearing the bearman's voice, it was actually a young girl's voice. What's your name? A hideous, ugly, perverted, and crazy face of dragon abomination appeared in front of her. Monster! She immediately fainted again. Keep an eye on her too, Levi said helplessly to Sawkins. He left this place and headed west. A few days later, he arrived at the Thunder Mountains. At this moment, in the Thunder Mountains, Godfrey was cultivating in seclusion. He had already sent out a portion of the external wizards to search for traces of the dragon abomination. However, the hope of finding it was not high. The one most likely to find it was Renia. At the same time, in the sky above the Thunder Mountains, Levi was flying towards the wizard tower in front of him with the help of the hermit rune. He had a vague feeling that there was a 5th circle existence over there. It must be Geoffrey Leo's father. Geoffrey Leo's contract wizard tool should be with him as well. Before he could get close to the wizard tower, a powerful spiritual force swept over. Looks like he's discovered me. After all, he's an old 5th circle wizard. In an instant, rays of light shot into the sky. The sky above the wizard tower was suddenly covered by black thunderclouds. At the edge of the thunderclouds, terrifying golden lightning kept falling like a curtain, protecting the 10 miles around the wizard tower. Wizards flew out one after another. The leader was an old man wearing a gorgeous golden lightning robe. It was Godfrey. 5th circle array, realm of thunder. Levi muttered in his heart. The headquarters of such a top-notch wizard organization definitely had a 5th circle array. Levi had already expected this. Dragon abomination. Seeing the newcomer, Godfrey's expression changed slightly. He guessed that the guy who bullied his son Geoffrey Leo had come to him. It was all this unfilial son's fault for causing trouble for the family. Dragon abomination, I don't care what grudge you have with my Letny family. Now, immediately return the sub-dragon you stole from my son to me and leave quickly. The Letny family can spare your life. You're quite strong, but you're far from being my opponent, said Godfrey calmly. Right now, he only wanted stability and did not want to make enemies, but that did not mean that he was afraid of a level 4 dragon abomination. Hearing the commotion, Geoffrey Leo flew over from the mine. Seeing that dragon abomination, he revealed joy. Father, it's him. It's him who snatched my single-horned dragon turtle. Kill him quickly. Noisy. Levi sneered and suddenly shot out. He waved his spiked club high and smashed it towards Geoffrey Leo. Father, save me. Geoffrey Leo's face changed. Stop. With an angry roar, a golden lightning chain filled the sky and took Geoffrey Leo away. Levi's attack missed. He looked at the father and son and revealed a sinister smile. He swung his spiked club at the 5th circle array. Terrifying energy poured out, and the array trembled continuously, but it managed to defend against Levi's attack. You can't even break the array. Don't waste your energy. I'll give you one more chance. Hand over. Monster, don't you dare. Before Godfrey could finish, he saw Dragon Abomination suddenly charge towards the mine. Those thunderstruck ores were his lifeline and his daughter's hope of advancing to the primordial soul realm. Kakik. Levi let out a strange laugh and smashed down with his spiked club. The mine below began to tremble, and cracks spread. 4th circle wizards fled frantically. At the same time, the old turtle Godfrey who was hiding in the array was forced out. A mere level 4 dragon abomination is actually so arrogant. I'll kill you today as a warning to others. Otherwise, Do you really think that my Letny family is easy to bully? Behind Godfrey, golden lightning formed an electric net and enveloped Levi. In the endless sea. Lightning Sea area. The Letny family. Too arrogant. This damned three-headed dragon abomination actually dares to challenge our Letny family's estate. Do you really think that you can ignore a fifth circle just because you defeated a few peak level 4 amethyst race members? You're too naive. Chapter 1187, Attacking Godfrey the Golden Thrower. I'll wait for Lord Godfrey to teach him a lesson and let him know that a fifth circle wizard cannot be humiliated. This time, it concerned the interests of the clan. All the wizards of the Letny family were watching the battle. Each and every one of them was filled with righteous indignation, wishing that they could personally go into battle and electrocute that damned dragon abomination to death. Witch's family. In the misty bathroom. In her spare time from work, Triss, who relied on her bath to relax, lay in the bathtub. She looked at Anya's photo and heaved a sigh of relief after confirming that Anya was fine. What has Levi been up to recently? It has been 5 years and he has not shown his face. Could it be that he is really dead? If something really happened, wouldn't this kid make me feel uneasy? After all, he went in because of me. Triss was faintly worried, and her expression didn't look too good. She only cared about 3 participants in the ancient tower, Anya, Levi, and Elena. So far, other than Levi, the other 2 were fine. Or rather, this kid has disguised himself and has been fighting. It's just that I didn't notice it. I still don't know much about him. Triss waved her hand, and the ceiling began to project the scene of the ancient tower in the sky. The moment she turned on the live broadcast, she saw a dragon abomination on the 4th level laughing maniacally in front of the Letny family's estate. It's him again. This dragon abomination is really arrogant. People who frequently watched the live broadcasts would be familiar with this dragon abomination. This was because this guy had always been a high-end opponent. He had single-handedly killed 3 amethyst race members. Later on, he even turned the remains of the amethyst race members into a spiked club. When he met his enemies, he would always kill them in one hit. Although I also hate the Letny family, objectively speaking, this level 4 dragon abomination is definitely not a match for Godfrey. Level 4 and level 5 are ultimately different, Triss wiped her slender and fair legs as she commented. Meanwhile, in the land of darkness outside the ancient tower, the dragon abomination Venerable's projection stood high in the sky and revealed a satisfied smile. Not bad, not bad. As expected of my child. What trash Letny family. I have lived for more than 100,000 years, but I've never heard of it. So what if those 2 level 10 experts from the lightning school of thought came? Our dragon abomination should be like this. Untamed, abnormal, crazy, and evil, these were the traditional virtues of the dragon abomination clan. Dark ancient tower. The 4th level, at the Thunder Mountains. He saw Godfrey charging out. Levi revealed a bloodthirsty smile. He used his spiked club to block a wave of attacks. His body began to expand, and pitch-black dragon horns appeared. Black flames gathered around his body and shot into the sky like a pitch-black curtain hanging down from the sky. The curtains were pulled open, and the show began. In the sky, a pitch-black giant that reached the heavens and the earth appeared. The giant had 3 heads and 6 arms. Black flames covered the sky, and obsidian-like scales covered its entire body. Its muscles bulged, and its blood surged. Behind him, 3,000 black feathers formed a true dragon wing that covered the sky. Among the 6 heavenly gods, this was the form of the 3-headed dragon god. The dragon god's 3 heads spat out black flames and dragon breath to neutralize the golden lightning net. 6 arms were holding the newly made level 4 divine weapon, Crimson Dragon Slash. The surging black energy surged into the sword's body endlessly. Behind the dragon god, 5 giant dragon dharma idols of different shapes and sizes appeared. The powerful aura made all the creatures in the Thunder Mountains tremble. I, the Mighty One, came here for nothing else but to tell all the foreign tribes in the ancient tower that our dragon abomination is the invincible race. Be it the amethyst race or the human race, they will all be our dragon abomination's stepping stones. Long live dragon abomination, long live dragon abomination venerable. Levi laughed out loud, his heroic spirit soaring to the sky. The 3-headed dragon god raised his black flame greatsword high. Boom! Godfrey's expression changed drastically as he swung his sword that could tear the world apart. This isn't a level 4 dragon abomination, it's a level 5 dragon abomination. He immediately felt fear in his heart and wanted to escape. If it was a level 5 dragon abomination, this would require at least a 5th circle senior wizard to defend against the dragon abomination. However, when he thought of the large mine struck by lightning and his daughter's future, he hardened his heart and calmed down. You're not at level 5. It's just a secret skill. It must be a forbidden skill that burns your bloodline and consumes your life force. Let's see how long you can last. A golden lightning spear condensed in Godfrey's hand. Today, I'll let you experience the might of the golden thrower. Boom! More than 200 bolts of lightning shot out around the three-headed dragon god as if it were plated with a layer of golden armor. The wind and thunder surge Dharma idol behind the dragon god flashed crazily. The Nirvana dragon Dharma idol was constantly injecting the power of regeneration into the dragon god's body. Such a seamless combination, coupled with the dragon god's powerful defense, made the three-headed dragon god immortal under the terrifying lightning attack and extremely durable. If it was another sex 5th circle wizard, Levi would not dare to be so presumptuous. However, he had the wind and cloud Dharma idol, and the one that he could most restrain was the lightning school of thought. Seeing his father's innate spell blocked by dragon abomination, Geoffrey Leo, who was hiding in the array, was stunned. How is that possible? My father is a 5th circle wizard. This is impossible. He was unable to believe that this dragon abomination could be compared to his father. He and dragon abomination were similarly at level 4. Why was the disparity between the two sides so huge? Why? On the battlefield, Godfrey threw lightning spears crazily, but Levi managed to neutralize them one by one. On the other hand, Godfrey's defensive force field finally couldn't withstand the three-headed dragon god's continuous sword slashes and shattered. Thunder robe, protect me. The golden robe he was wearing shone with golden lightning, forming a new protective force field. It was a 5th circle wizard tool. The three-headed dragon god ignored Godfrey's attacks and slashed down. The 5th circle wizard tool also started to tremble, and Godfrey struggled to hold on. Looking at this scene, Geoffrey Leo didn't know what to do. At this moment, a voice sounded in his mind. Run quickly, little bastard. I'm not a match for this dragon abomination. Run as far as possible. The array will be broken by him sooner or later. Staying here is just waiting for death. Go find your sister and ask her to bring you to the 5th level. Gather with the main forces of the family and tell your sister not to avenge me or look for the sub-dragon. You must leave the ancient tower alive. Nothing else is as important as that. Hearing his father's words, Geoffrey Leo's blood boiled and his head heated up. He hated his father for being biased and even hated him. However, at this moment, he looked at his father who was constantly being suppressed. He wanted to charge out and fight to the death with that dragon abomination. In the end, he calmed down and used all his strength to fly out. Behind him, the three-headed dragon abomination was like a world-destroying demon god, imposing and undefeatable in the world. His father went all out, his robe billowing. The golden net of lightning covered heaven and earth. He was doing his best to stop dragon abomination. Father, I'm sorry. I'll live on with sister. Geoffrey Leo regretted that he had lured the enemy here. Suddenly, a strange black bug pounced on Geoffrey Leo and bit him. With a terrifying chewing sound, this 4th circle wizard was easily killed by Leon. Before Geoffrey Leo's soul was devoured, he saw the night fall on the Thunder Mountains, and the three-headed dragon god's aura rose to another level, almost transforming into a demonic dragon. The 3,000 black tail feathers on the dragon's back turned into a storm of feather blades and fell from the sky like a waterfall, drowning his father. He saw dragon abomination sitting high up on the cloud, blue veins popping out. The huge black greatsword in the 6-armed devil dragon's hand pressed down horizontally until only that black mass of sword chi was left in the world. He saw his father, who had been in the 5th circle realm for hundreds of years and had supported him and his sister, roar indignantly, "Evil dragon! You dare to kill my son! One day, you will definitely be killed by the Letny family." The sword chi fell, and the earth split open. It plowed thousands of feet before it stopped. The golden thrower was dead. Chapter 1188, The Strength of Dragon Abomination. In the Endless Sea. The Letny family. At this moment, the wizards of the family were all silent. They did not understand how that dragon abomination could kill Godfrey, a 5th circle senior wizard. This projection is definitely fake. Haha, fake. It's just an illusion cast by the alien race. Our Letny family is righteous and is the proud golden lightning. How can an evil monster defeat us? Don't worry, unless this monster continues to live on the 4th level and doesn't step into the 5th level. Once he enters the 5th level, he will be killed by the powerful 5th circle elders of the family. Lord Godfrey is still an ordinary 5th circle wizard, and it has been too long since he fought. Adding on the fact that he underestimated his enemy, this dragon abomination would not have been his match. That makes sense. A momentary loss doesn't mean anything. In the crowd, a cold-faced, stony-faced 5th circle wizard stood out and said, "If this dragon abomination dares to appear in the endless sea, I, Evander, will definitely kill him." If the electric eel wizard were to take action, it would be a piece of cake. You don't even need to do it yourself. Your pet wild electric dragon eel is enough to subdue it. Isn't that so? The group of wizards began to flatter him. Presumably, this electric eel wizard had a high status in the Letny family. In fact, that was indeed the case. He did not participate in Dark Ancient Tower not because he was weak. On the contrary, he was a thunder child of the elements. When he was born, there was a phenomenon of heaven and earth fusion, and he was followed by a sub-dragon species, the wild electric dragon eel. His great-grandfather was the Molten Gold Wizard King, one of the 4 wizard kings of the Letny family. He was the most powerful figure in the Endless Sea. He was less than 400 years old, but he already had attained perfection in the 5th circle realm. Such a quasi-primordial soul talent naturally did not need to enter the Dark Ancient Tower. If he died, it would be a great loss to the Letny family. Star Tower. Law Enforcement Department. The Molten Gold Wizard King watched his clan being destroyed with a calm expression. The purple bead that he had been holding in his hand was forcefully crushed. The staff beside him didn't even dare to breathe loudly and left silently. The Letny family had always been high and mighty. They could turn the clouds upside down and control the life and death of others. It was rare for them to be defeated like this. Only this kind of dragon abomination, who would not have any interactions with the Letny family in the future, would dare to do this. If it was any other organization in the Endless Sea, they would think twice before doing this. Some people were worried, while others were happy. Witch's family. Triss's cabin. Well done. I just like to see the Letny family suffer. Humph, bullying my sister Elena. Now you've got your retribution. Triss clenched her fists, looking as if she had succeeded. This monster is really stronger than I expected. However, it is not a good thing for the wizard world to have such a genius born from the dragon abomination. In the land of darkness, the dragon abomination venerable who was watching the battle felt proud. This kid is far away from home and didn't receive my guidance, but he can learn by himself and comprehend such a powerful bloodline secret technique. This shows that we dragon abomination are not simple-minded. On the contrary, dragon abomination has great wisdom. If he returns from the long journey and returns to my embrace, I can also pass on some of the secret techniques I had when I was young to him and revive the glory of the dragon abomination. This child will not shirk his responsibility. Those humans and dragons who look down on us and say that we dragon abomination are stupid, they will never be able to nurture such a genius in their lifetime. On the other side, Grias seemed to have already expected that dragon abomination would win this battle. He said indifferently, I wonder if he can still go so smoothly after gets to the 5th level. Dragon abomination venerable snorted coldly in his heart and thought, of course, it will be smooth. My dragon abomination clan is the strongest clan. Dark Ancient Tower, 4th floor. Thunder Mountains. The night faded like the tide, and light returned to the human realm. Levi descended from the sky. He looked around the battlefield and locked onto the remaining disciples of the Letny family. Not long after, the Letny family was completely destroyed. There were also some foreign wizards who had long since disappeared, so Levi did not waste any more time looking for them. It wasn't easy to work for others. There was no need to kill them all with a stick. In any case, he was a dragon abomination. These people would not have the chance to seek revenge on him in the future. After cleaning up the battlefield and searching for resources and treasures in the Thunder Mountains, he left. It wouldn't be long before the other 5 top-tier organizations of the Sea Covenant learned of the situation here. At that time, Levi would definitely not be able to fight against so many human wizards with his dragon abomination, who was isolated and hated by everyone. Therefore, he did not have the idea of occupying the Thunder Mountains, a place that wizards would fight for. Moreover, it would take a long time to finish mining all these ores. Levi did not have the time to waste here. The 4th level was just a transition. When his strength improved, he would head to the 5th level. Relatively speaking, the dark elf forest was more suitable as Levi's temporary stronghold. It wasn't a popular resource point. Otherwise, the shadow circle wouldn't have been able to take it down. Several days later, Levi returned to the camp. Sawkins was pressing down on the single-horned dragon turtle. The single-horned dragon turtle was already at the peak of level 4, and with its sub-dragon bloodline, its strength was not inferior to a 4th circle wizard at perfection. Sawkins could easily subdue it, but one had to admit that this big crab had some skills. Seeing that Levi had returned, Sawkins let go of the single-horned dragon turtle. Levi found the wizard tool used to contract the single-horned dragon turtle from Jeffrey Leo's storage ring. Chapter 1189, Continuous Upgrades, Soaring Strength. After a series of actions, he cancelled the contract. The single-horned dragon turtle was restless and wanted to escape, but Levi pressed it to the ground. The might of the 6 dragons poured onto the dragon turtle. In addition, Levi's strength was far superior to it. Therefore, it was not difficult to subdue it. Even the sub-dragons with noble bloodlines were nothing in front of Levi. "What's your name?" asked Levi. The sub-dragons could definitely communicate directly. "Lord, my name is Ratty Ross." "How old are you now?" asked Levi. "Lord, from the time I can remember, I should be 2,000 years old." 2,000 years old. Levi suddenly sighed. This was equivalent to the life of a 6th circle primordial soul wizard. As expected of a mixed blood dragon clan and a turtle that was known for its longevity. In the world of transcendent creatures, there was usually a way to determine the length of their lifespan. Ordinary transcendent creatures had varying lifespans. Some had longer lifespans than wizards, such as turtles, while others had shorter lifespans than wizards, such as most insects, birds, and small transcendent creatures. As for the mixed blood dragon clan, because they inherited part of the dragon clan's genes, their lifespan was generally longer than that of a wizard of the same realm. The average lifespan of a sub-dragon was several times that of a wizard. This was a typical longevity species. There was no need to say much about pure-blooded dragons. In theory, under the circumstances of no illness or disaster, every pure-blooded dragon could rely on the accumulation of time to grow into a level 9 legendary creature. Their lifespan could easily start at 10,000 years. For example, the immortal Banyan dragon lady of the witch's family. A level 10 pure-blooded dragon like Atheris had lived for 100,000 years and was from the same era as the Amethyst Saint. Ratty, who was a turtle and a sub-dragon, had 2 layers of longevity buff. Therefore, even though Ratty was only a peak level 4 sub-dragon, it should be able to live for 10,000 years. At that time, it should already be a primordial soul. This would be a family heirloom in other wizard organizations, enough to kill generations of wizards. I wonder what is my current lifespan. Levi was depressed. He had the bloodline of a pure-blooded dragon, so his lifespan would definitely be increased. It was a pity that there was no equipment that could measure one's lifespan. "Ratty, when will you be able to advance to the 5th circle realm?" asked Levi. "Master, if there's no special opportunity, it might take another 100 years, said Ratty after thinking for a while. "Understood. Follow me and I'll ensure your safety in the future. You don't have to worry about being captured. If I become successful, I won't forget you." "Thank you, Master." Ratty is extremely grateful. "You're welcome. Come, let me draw some blood to test your health." Levi took out 3 large vats. "Master, do you need so many vats?" Ratty asked hesitantly. "Do you know why your advancement is so slow, Ratty?" Levi asked earnestly. Ratty shook its head and replied, "Please enlighten me, Master." "Because your blood hasn't been regenerated yet. It's always old blood. It has to go through the blood transfusion process to stimulate your body to develop rapidly and give birth to new blood. I'm doing this to speed up your blood transfusion process. It'll benefit you endlessly," Levi said. Ratty was enlightened. He quickly praised, "Master, you're so cultured. I'm just a wild dragon turtle. I've been cultivating by relying on some shallow memories in the bloodline inheritance. I didn't know that there was such a method to promote growth. Meeting you today is meeting a wise master. No need to thank me. As long as you work hard enough and follow me, you won't need 100 years to advance to level 5, Levi said calmly, looking confident. "Master, are you serious?" Ratty was delighted. Levi nodded and said, "It's only 5th circle. It's not difficult. Of course, the prerequisite is that you work hard enough. The path of the dragon is full of thorns. I can only be your guide and can't walk it for you. Do you understand? Thank you, Master. Ratty was overjoyed and said gratefully, I will definitely work hard in the future. Levi nodded and released Crimson Horn, Raja, Nightfang, and Netherworld Sparrow. Through them, the dragon turtle's worries were further dispelled, proving that it could do well by following him. When he subdued his subordinates, he would definitely make them convinced and not just suppress and bully them. That is how he would be able to last. Then, Levi began to draw blood. After 3 large vats, the dragon turtle's forehead was covered in sweat. It said resolutely, Master, continue. I can still hold on. I want to change blood. Levi stopped the dragon turtle and shook his head. He said, Ratty, remember this. Going too far is as bad as falling short. You can't rush things. 3 vats are just right. Yes, Master. Ratty nodded and chuckled, Master is cultured and considerate. These are some potions that can help you improve your cultivation. 1 each month. Come find me when you're done. Levi gave some potions to the dragon turtle. Ratty swallowed it and preserved it. It felt warm inside. Its current master was still the best, its master had its best interest at heart. The previous master, Geoffrey Leo, was weak and useless, and he didn't care about it. This was the difference. After pacifying the dragon turtle, Levi praised the flying scythe beasts and gave them some potions. The flying scythe beasts felt as if they had found a supreme treasure and called it a divine medicine. They were reluctant to consume it, but only under Levi's strict orders did they drink it carefully, afraid that they would finish it in one gulp. Chapter 1190, Cultivating at the Dark Elf Forest. With Levi's current wealth, it would be easy for him to support these transcendent creatures. He was never stingy with his subordinates. There was also the bearman who had helped the flying scythe beasts. She had been unconscious the entire time. It seemed like she was really frightened. Levi gave her some potions and waited for her to wake up. He wanted to ask her some questions. After that, he began to cultivate. Apart from cultivating, he took stock of his gains during this time. North of the 4th level, there was a huge whirlpool with a diameter of 100 miles, and the teleportation portal was located there. In order to block Dragon Abomination, Renia guarded this place. At this moment, she watched in disbelief as the soul token with Godfrey and Geoffrey Leo's names cracked in her hand and turned into powder. Father, brother. How could this be? Father has been in the 5th Circle realm for hundreds of years. Even a 5th Circle senior wizard can't kill him easily. She immediately got up and went to Thunder Mountains to find the answer. Suddenly, the communication wizard tool on her body rang, and a voice message appeared. Leave the 4th floor and find the main group. I hope that you will soon become a famous primordial soul in the Endless Sea. Geoffrey Leo. The message was very simple. It was obvious that it was sent in a hurry. Her younger brother had suffered inhuman torture, but he still sent her a warning before he died. Renia's hair stood up, and golden lightning formed a huge butterfly shadow behind her. The net covered the sea, and countless sea beasts died in it. She was wantonly venting her emotions on this sea. Who is it? She roared at the sky, her voice shrill. When she calmed down, she looked at the teleportation portal. You didn't tell me who your enemy is because you don't want me to take revenge. It seems that your enemy's strength is above mine. Don't worry, Father. Before I have absolute strength, I won't seek death. However, if I don't take revenge, I will regret it. How can I shatter my crystal and soul? When I leave the ancient tower, I will find my clansmen to dig up your death images. I will personally capture the sinners and take revenge. Goodbye, Father. Goodbye, brother. After Renia finished speaking, the golden lightning vaporized all the guards of the teleportation portal and then stepped onto the 5th floor without hesitation. In the blink of an eye. A month had passed since Godfrey's death. During this time, the Dark Elf Forest was very quiet and no one disturbed them. Sawkins was entrenched in the middle of the forest. Occasionally, there would be intruders, and it would immediately kill them for fate coins. Slowly, some of the nomadic wizards around learned that there was a level 5 transcendent creature in the Dark Elf Forest, and they did not dare to come again. Levi was able to cultivate peacefully. Recently, Levi gained a lot from the destruction of the Shadow Circle and the Letney family branch. More than 4 million ether stones. As for the wizard tools, he obtained more than 10 damaged 4th Circle Wizard tools and 2 5th Circle Wizard tools. One of the 5th Circle Wizard tools came from Shadow Shark. It was a magic weapon dagger called the Life Reaping Blade. It could kill without leaving a trace, making it extremely suitable for assassination. Generally speaking, the School of Shadow liked this style of wizard tools. As for Godfrey's wizard tool, it was a 5th Circle Wizard weapon, Thunder Robe, which had been damaged by Levi. Levi had also obtained a huge amount of herbs from Shadow Shark, many of which were materials for his 5th Circle meditation potion. On Godfrey's side, there were also a few thousand kilograms of Thunderstruck ore, which Levi accepted with a smile. There was no need to mention the other intangible treasures such as spell models and knowledge inheritance. With Sawkins in the light and me in the dark elf forest is impregnable. There are many experts on the 5th floor. I'll hide on the 4th floor for a while, at least until the main breathing technique is at level 16, then I'll enter the 5th floor. Levi made a plan for the future. In reality, the resources on the 4th level were not little. However, this side of the continent had already been divided up by the various large factions. On the other hand, resource points on the sea were hard to find, and there were often powerful sea beasts occupying them. Therefore, it was a waste of time and a thankless effort. Levi planned to pay a visit after his strength improved. It would be best if he could subdue a few mixed blood dragons and sub-dragons. The more these things, the better. After a while, the bearman finally woke up. She packed her luggage and came to Levi. "Sir, thank you for saving me." She spoke in the common language of the wizards. Without a doubt, this was a race that had been influenced by the wizard civilization. "What's your name?" Levi asked coldly. "Where are you from?" "My name is Anne," the bearman said evasively. "I'm from a distant and mysterious empire." "Sir, you probably haven't heard of me before, so there's no need to mention me." "The Panda Empire." Levi laughed strangely. Fear flashed across Anne's eyes. She quickly said, I'm not. I'm from the Aota Empire." "Oh, I see." Levi had already confirmed her identity, so he did not continue asking. She didn't say anything because she was afraid of exposing her country and being invaded by an evil dragon like him. It was understandable. "Sir, thank you for treating my injuries. I'm leaving." "I still don't know your name." "We bearmen will definitely repay your kindness," exclaimed Anne. Levi mocked, "Get lost. As the Honorable Dragon Abomination, how can you know my real name?" Anne was shocked. She took 2 steps back quietly and whispered, "Thank you. I can feel that your heart is not as ugly as it looks. You don't have to pretend to be so fierce." "You're wrong." Levi laughed evilly, "My heart is 10 times uglier than my appearance." "No, 100 times uglier." Chapter 1191, Dragon Abomination vs Bone King. Anne pouted and remained silent. Then she smiled and said, "Goodbye, Sir Evil Dragon." She stood in the forest, and waves of water elemental power gathered around her. A clear spring water lifted her up and flew into the sky. Levi looked at Anne, who was far away, and muttered inwardly, "The heart is really a magical thing. The path of the energy sect is indeed not simple. Unfortunately, it seems that this path has not been fated for me. The knight and wizard alone have already turned me incarnation a training robot. Anne is probably the successor of the Clear Spring sect and cultivated the Clear Springs chi. Looks like someone from the Panda Plane has entered. 100 Flowers will be very happy when she learns of this." Everything was ready except for cultivation. Levi checked the array and continued to order the undead spirits to stand guard, thus the undead, alchemical creatures, and transcendent creatures were on guard. With a level 5 great commander like Sawkins, the dark elf forest was impregnable. Thunder Mountains. 5 powerful auras appeared here. There were men and women. They were the people in charge of the other 5 towers on the 4th level. Their abilities were all at the 5th circle level. The witch's family sent an old woman here. She had white hair and a youthful face. Her voice was sharp as she said, "As expected, the rumors are true. Godfrey is dead. Otherwise, he wouldn't have given up on the Thunder Mountains." Hurricane Steeple's 5th circle male wizard had a grave expression when he said, "I didn't expect that there would be a dragon abomination hiding in the sea continent. Do you know where that dragon abomination is now?" The witch from Lilith's cabin shook her head and said, "I'm not sure. This dragon abomination must have a personal grudge against the Letney family. Otherwise, he wouldn't only be looking for trouble with Godfrey. The old man from the Seven Waters steeple said, "Next, let's strengthen our defenses. If this dragon abomination is still in the western continent, we'll work together to eliminate it. We don't want any more trouble. However, if it is in the eastern continent, it would be a dream come true." Ha ha ha. The Ocean Abyss Alliance's body refining wizard laughed. The eastern continent was the territory of the Burning School of Thought, Church of Earth, Storm School of Thought, and Lightning School of Thought. The Ocean Abyss Alliance had been coveting it for a long time. However, the other side had joined forces to resist them, so the western continent forces could not take them down for the time being. I suggest that the 5 of us split the Thunder Mountains equally. What do you think? Asked the old woman. Sure, it will be a win-win for all of us. This 4th level is the home ground of our Ocean School of Thought. The resources on the sea, continent, and even the sea will be divided between the 5 of us in the future. It's also a good thing that we have one less Letney family. Not long after, the 5 major organizations divided this place up. At the same time, they also started to dispatch people to search for traces of Dragon Abomination. It was just a pity that Dragon Abomination hid extremely well. This search lasted for 3 years, but there was no news of its whereabouts. In the end, the Sea Covenant gave up on the search and tacitly agreed that Dragon Abomination had gone to the eastern continent. In fact, that was indeed the case. In the Dark Elf Forest of the eastern continent, Dragon Abomination had been cultivating for 3 years. During these 3 years, there were always some nomadic wizards or small organizations that came to find trouble. However, with Sawkin's large pincers, it was easy to catch them. Gradually, through some lucky wizards who managed to escape, everyone knew that there was a level 5 crab in the Dark Elf Forest of the eastern continent. The forest was filled with undead creatures, making it extremely eerie. For a time, the Dark Elf Forest became a forbidden area. Some of them were secretly watching for the plant resources, but they did not act rashly. Some of the wizards had seen the big green crab and the undead spirits on the 3rd floor. They couldn't help but think of someone in the forbidden area of the 3rd floor, the giant Axe Canyon. That's right. It was the infamous evil death wizard, Bone King. As a result, rumors spread. It's over. Bone King is on the 4th floor too. He's in the Dark Elf Forest. Damn it, why does he always follow us like a shadow? Can't he give us a chance to live? I suspect that the green crab has also been subdued by the Bone King. Who else is a match for the Bone King on the 5th level? That's right. Even if a wizard managed to defeat the Dragon Abomination who killed Godfrey by himself, he might not be a match for Bone King. Speaking of which, who is more powerful? That Dragon Abomination or Bone King? Dragon Abomination, right? He killed Godfrey, a 5th circle veteran wizard. I feel that the Bone King is stronger. Up until now, no one has seen the Bone King fight because those who have seen it have all died. This is truly terrifying. Eastern Continent. Rock King Desert. At the Colossus Divine Tower. The Colossus Divine Tower was jointly established by several top wizard organizations of the Earth School of Thought. With a 5th circle wizard in charge and the addition of many nomadic wizards, their influence was not small. Under the desert, in a ruin built by the wizard who had explored this place before, a 5th circle wizard was cultivating. In front of him was a khaki-colored mystical object of truth, stone snake ring. His nose twitched, and the stone snake ring turned into a yellow light that surged into his body. Then, he opened his eyes. He was in a good mood. I've finally refined this truth oddity. My 3rd circle talent is now complete. 3 3rd circle, 2 4th circle, 1 5th circle, 6 innate spells. That's enough. Suddenly, he sensed a 5th circle aura flying toward him from outside. Wizard Wanda, I'm Burning Army's commander Blazing Fire. Please come out for a chat. Wanda appeared in a flash and flew into the sky. Why did you come to my Rock King Desert, Wizard Blazing Fire? Don't worry, old friend. I'm not here to fight. Chapter 1192, Planning to Enter the Dark Elf Forest. Speak quickly. Wizard Wanda, have you ever heard of Pandora's Root? What about it? Blazing Fire, don't beat around the bush, or I'll chase you away. Hee hee hee, I haven't seen you for so many years, but you're still so impatient and fiery. It's not typical of the Earth School of Thought at all. According to my recent research, the Dark Elf Forest might contain Pandora's Root. I wouldn't have been willing to tell you about such a good thing. Unfortunately, a few years ago, a death wizard and a level 5 creature occupied the dark elf forest, so I want to find some helpers to destroy this person and beast. At that time, we will split the Pandora's root and the other spoils of war equally. How about it? I've heard of that Bone King. It's said that he's very powerful. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to subdue a level 5 creature. Do you have any other helpers besides you and me? The Black Thunder Wizard of the Thunder Hammer will also join. Black Thunder Wizard. If he is coming, then we could give it a try. That old thing had mastered the legendary Black Oblivion Thunder, which is a rare type of lightning. It's said that its power isn't inferior to the golden lightning unique to the Letni family. With his thunder spell, we'll be more confident in dealing with the School of Death Wizard. Is there anyone else? The three of us are enough to deal with all unexpected situations. If there are more, the spoils of war won't be enough to split. I came to look for you because we've been friends for many years. Then when do we take action? Let's wait for another year. The Black Thunder Wizard has some matters to attend to recently. Sure, contact me when the time comes. After the discussion between the two Fifth Circle wizards, they left in a hurry. A year later. Thundercloud Swamp. The sky here was covered by dark clouds all year round, and the purple electric net crisscrossed. In the middle of the swamp, a giant black tree with a diameter of about 10 meters reached the sky. Kaka. The sound was accompanied by a purple lightning bolt. The giant tree was split open and burned. A purple worm crawled out of the fire. Lightning crackled on the flesh worm's body, and symbols flickered. It was obvious that it was not an ordinary object. Suddenly, a large hand formed by black thunder came down and grabbed the meat worm. Tisk tisk tisk, the thunder worm chrysalis is mine. My years of waiting have not been in vain. The Black Thunder Wizard quickly took out a special bottle and sealed the purple meat worm with a spell. At this moment, a message rang out from the communication wizard tool. Black Thunder, Wizard Wanda and I are ready. How's the situation on your side? We can't drag this out any longer. If the Bone King discovers the existence of the Pandora's root, it will be useless even if we go. Wizard Blazing Fire. Black Thunder Wizard pondered for a moment before leaving the Thundercloud Swamp to meet up with Wizard Blazing Fire. Year 1174 of the Holy Brilliance Calendar, Month of Harvest. Year 9 of the Dark Ancient Tower Calendar. The Dark Elf Forest. The giant green crab was swallowing and exhaling the wind elemental power. It looked like it was cultivating. The dragon turtle beside it did the same, swallowing and spitting water elemental power. The wind and water converged, causing the forest to be covered in fog. Meanwhile, Raja and Nightfang were still trying to procreate. Nightfang's cries echoed throughout the forest. The Crimson Horn and Qing Niao couple were also resting. The undead spirits were on sentry duty, and the corpse demons were diligently collecting herbs, searching for possible hidden treasures in the dark elf forest. It was chaotic outside, but it was peaceful here. For the past 4 years, Levi has held a round-table meeting every year. He could use the meeting to understand the situation in the ancient tower. He also knew that he was rumored to be a 3-headed dragon abomination, and he could not help but sigh in his heart. He had really become an evil dragon abomination now. Everything was fine at the Dusk Holy Temple, and nothing major had happened recently. The positions of the last 3 official members were still vacant. The Black Knight's divine weapon was also freshly made. It was called the War Hammer. It was a heavy hammer that suited his style. Elsa's weapon was Evernight Spear, which inherited her previous weapon name. The other level 3 members were still searching for their own materials. After the creation of the divine weapon and after testing it, they found that an ordinary level 3 knight with a divine weapon was enough to fight against a wizard of the same realm, but they were still not a match. Perhaps, they would only be able to compete with the wizard after they entered level 4 and formed their Dharma idol. As for the human realm, there were constant conflicts between the 9 nations continent. They were still fighting for that small piece of land. The current situation in the Forsaken Land of the God was unknown. In short, the Black Dragon Empire could sweep through the human realm at any time. Apart from the ancient Saint Plain, Levi did not forget about the Black Dragon territory ruled by the Nightmare Dragon. The Nightmare Mother Trees was recovering. At the same time, more and more nightmare creatures were born. These creatures were born as Levi's subjects and were used by him. With more manpower, the efficiency of searching for the nightmare dragons had greatly increased. Levi believed that it wouldn't be long before his nightmare dragon breathing technique would be on the right track. After 4 years of cultivation, Levi's strength had increased day by day. 3 years ago, he had already cultivated the Crimson Emperor Dragon breathing technique to level 16 and entered the 4th transformation of the Blood Source realm. The special effect of Flame Dragon's true form had reached level 4. This caused his strength to increase by a lot. After that, the Strength rune also entered the 10th level, and its power increased by 90%. Coupled with the 50% increase brought by the level 4 Crimson Dragon Slash, he no longer knew what level of attack he would be able to unleash after activating his full form. The Crimson Emperor Dragon breathing technique was so powerful that it gave Levi the illusion that his strength had undergone a qualitative change even though it was only a small increase in realm. Chapter 1193, Pandora's Mother Tree. He was intoxicated by this abundant strength. If he were to meet the 3 Amethyst race members again, he felt that he would be able to defeat them without even using the 6 heavenly gods. Under normal circumstances, Levi's strength was already at level 5. With the Crimson Emperor Dragon advancement, if he activated the 6 heavenly gods, he would be able to fight against a 5th circle senior wizard. The improvement of the Crimson Emperor Dragon was only a part of it. Just this year, his Sky Dragon breathing technique also followed closely behind and advanced to level 16. His exclusive divine weapon, Wind Thunder Wings, had also been successfully trained to level 3. As a result, Levi's endurance attribute also increased greatly. Coupled with the Wind and Thunder Surge Dharma Idol, he was like a legendary perpetual motion machine with an inexhaustible strength rune. Now, Levi had pushed the Golden Snake, Crimson Emperor Dragon, and Sky Dragon to the 4th transformation of the Blood Source realm. Further advancement would be the 5th transformation realm, which was comparable to a 5th circle wizard. This kind of major realm increase would definitely bring about another qualitative change in his strength. After he had completed all 5 transformations of his breathing technique, he would be almost invincible among those below the primordial soul realm. This was not even taking into consideration his ability as a wizard. Perhaps he could remove the word almost from his words. The path of knights grew rapidly, while the path of the wizard was slow and progressed steadily. His spiritual force had already reached 430 points, and he was still 100 points away from reaching his limit. In the future, if he could find some oddity items or soul stones that could directly increase his spiritual force, Levi estimated that within 20 years, he would be able to advance to the 5th circle realm at the age of 200. Even if he cultivated arrays, medicine, weapon refinement, knight, and rune language, he could still be far ahead of those so-called wizards favored by the heavens. This was the power of the panel. With the snowball effect, the further one went, the slower the others would be cultivating. However, Levi was overtaking them at every turn and was constantly speeding up. Moreover, Levi's 6th talent, Ice Dragon Prison, had also been upgraded to level 10. Now, Levi's other 5 talents, as well as the 4th circle protective force field, Earth Burst Barrier, had all reached perfection. Once he reached the 5th circle realm, its power would automatically increase to the level of the 5th circle. It could be said that the past 4 years have been a qualitative change for Levi. In order to survive on the 5th floor, which was filled with experts, he had to be fully prepared. The gap between the 5th circle wizards was huge. He would not be complacent just because he had defeated a few ordinary 5th circle cultivators. He had seen through the projection that many of his powerful enemies had also arrived at the 5th level. For example, the Redbone Wizard with 5th circle at perfection, and the Fire Bull family's wizard with 5th circle at perfection as well, not to mention the powerful Amethyst race. Godfrey and the others were completely incomparable to them. Once these people were prepared and had the right opportunity, they could reach the primordial soul realm in an instant. On this day, Levi left the place of seclusion. He arrived at the center of the dark elf forest. After finding a spot, he suddenly turned into a bloody mist and burrowed into the ground. He kept diving, diving. He didn't know how long he had been diving. Finally, his figure appeared in an underground square. This place was extremely spacious and deep underground. After studying Shadow Shark's items, Levi found out that there was an underground plaza located in this area. On the underground square, there was a fixed array pattern that looked extremely profound and complicated. However, with Levi's 4th circle peak level of array formation, he was able to comprehend a thing or two. In the past 4 years, he would come here every once in a while to comprehend the array. Every time he comprehended something, his array proficiency would increase by a lot. Now, his array skill had almost reached the limit of the 4th circle stage. If he wanted to improve further, he would have to advance to 5th circle and refine a true 5th circle array. According to his knowledge, the array on the square should be a sixth circle sealing array. The target of the seal was a skeleton in the middle of the square. The skeleton was long dead. Levi only dared to stay in the underground square after confirming that there was no danger through his danger perception. After all, an existence that could be sealed by such a grand array was definitely an existence in the primordial soul realm. After looking through the information, Levi concluded that this skeleton should be the legendary dark elf mistress who had been killed by a primordial soul wizard. He looked at the skeleton from afar. In the middle of the skeleton, there was a root-like thing that pierced through it. It was obvious that she had been stabbed to death by this tree root when she was alive. Levi did not know what this thing was, but he felt that it was somewhat similar to the aura of the magic tree in the witch's family. He guessed that it had something to do with the Pandora's mother tree. The Pandora's mother tree was the god of all elves, including the dead dark elf mistress. His intuition told him that this was some kind of treasure, but he had been wandering around here for 4 years and had never dared to take it. It wasn't because of the sealing array. This sixth circle array had been in disrepair for a long time, and most of its functions had already lost their effectiveness. Only a portion of it was still operating. After 4 years of comprehension, although Levi did not know how to refine the array, he could temporarily crack it and enter it. However, he felt that the skeleton of the dark elf mistress was a little creepy. She was clearly dead, but perhaps it was the lingering might of a powerful being that prevented Levi from approaching. To put it bluntly, Levi was traumatized by the existence of the primordial soul and was always worried about accidents like possession. In the end, Levi resisted the temptation of the treasure and silently studied the array. While he was comprehending, he used the recording slate to draw some blueprints of arrays, node designs, and other knowledge. It was obvious that he was immersed in the knowledge and could not extricate himself. Several days later, Levi was sweating profusely, his mind spinning at high speed, and his spiritual force was empty. The knowledge of the sixth circle array is too profound. I keep learning and gaining, and there's an endless stream. It's a pity that I can't take it with me. Otherwise, I would definitely benefit greatly if I took it back and comprehended it, Levi sighed. This array had to be observed on the spot to understand its profundity. However, my array skill can be considered to have reached perfection for the 4th circle. Next, I'll have to wait to advance to 5th circle. He looked at the scales that had exploded and the lingering sense of danger, his expression calm. Looks like these people from the eastern continent cannot help but want to attack me. In that case, don't blame me for being impolite. I originally only wanted to win a win-win situation with you as friends, but now, there's no need. He turned around and left to set up the battlefield. Underground, the skeleton that had been pierced by the tree root was motionless. There was no sign of life. The scars on the bones told of the cruelty of the war tens of thousands of years ago. Chapter 1194, Fleeing Dark Elf Forest. Year 1174 of the Holy Brilliance Calendar, month of Northern Wind. Dark Ancient Tower, 4th floor, Sea Covenant Headquarters. The 5th Circle Wizards from the 5 towers gathered together. I heard that Wanda, Blazing Fire, and Black Thunder have left for the Dark Elf Forest. Dark Elf Forest? Other than some herbs, there shouldn't be anything else there. Herbs are gone after 1 round of harvesting. Before the ancient tower closes, the 2nd round won't grow. Why are the 3 of them going there? I'm not sure. But since they've made their move, there must be some secrets in the Dark Elf Forest that we don't know about. Could it be related to the Dark Elf Mistress? It's possible. However, there's a 5th Circle Wizard from the School of Death who calls himself the Bone King. His strength is unfathomable. Coupled with that level 5 creature, Blazing Fire, and the other 2 might not be able to take it down easily with their strength. Everyone, I think this is a good opportunity. I have a suggestion. The 5 of us will set up an ambush around the Dark Elf Forest. We will wait until the Blazing Fire and Bone King are both injured before we reap the benefits. As for the treasures hidden in the Dark Elf Forest, we will also split them equally. That's a good suggestion. The 5 of us are all from the Endless Sea. We should advance and retreat together to maximize our benefits. After we kick out all the other small fries, we can join hands to go to the sea and kill the sea beast lords near the resource points. We can divide the resources equally. There's no time to lose. Let's go. The 5 wizards were talking and laughing on the surface, but no one knew what they were thinking on the inside. The structure of the sea continent had been formed, but it was not stable. On the seemingly calm continent, undercurrents were surging. 5th level. South of Io continent. After passing through a lush bamboo forest, there was a cliff that was thousands of feet tall. The heavenly waterfall fell into a large lake at the foot of the mountain. Water vapor pervaded the air, and clouds covered the area. The impact of this waterfall was extremely strong. This water flow was the legendary extremely heavy water. Even the protective force field of a fifth circle wizard could not last long. However, if one were to pass through this waterfall and pass through a secret passage that was filled with mechanisms and traps, they would be able to enter a completely different world. It was a secret realm. In the secret realm, flowing water flowed and mountains floated in the void like isolated islands. On the island, there were dense peach blossom forests and bamboo forests, forming a sea of red and green. At the center of the secret realm, on the highest mountain peak, stood a magnificent palace. On the eaves of the four corners of the palace, there were carvings of four creatures. They were the four mythical beasts that the Four Symbols sect had made up, including the vermilion bird of fire. A middle-aged bearman dressed in a linen robe, who gave off the majesty of a king, stood in the air. He looked at the palace with a shocked expression. He muttered to himself, "It's said that the 59th generation Holy Emperor King Shan once went to a faraway world and entered the land of peach blossoms by mistake. He received a great fortune and broke through the void to find a way to save Panda. Could it be that the land of peach blossoms refers to this place? From ancient times until now, there was only one person who could establish the Four Symbols Heavenly Imperial Palace as a palace, and that was the first Holy Emperor. This is where Origin Holy Emperor once set foot. This bearman was the strongest expert in the Panda Empire, the current Holy Emperor, and Clear Spring Sect Master Zhou. He had already cultivated the Water Energy Sect to the peak of the Heaven-Man Connection realm. He was just one step away from shattering Void and becoming a level 6 master like Elena. He could travel to the land of darkness and the multidimensional plane. However, this last step had troubled him for 100 years. Miss Elena once said that there might be opportunities for me in the ancient tower. It's true. The Holy Emperor felt grateful. It's a pity that I don't know where that girl, Anne, has gone. There are still other clansmen. Sigh, we're separated by the heavens. However, with the help of Heart Connection, we can still meet again in the future. The Bearman clan leader has been isolated from the world for a long time, so they do need some experience. The people he had brought in this time were the elites of the Four Great Energy Sect, and they all had the strength to enter the 5th level. As long as they were careful, they should be able to protect themselves. Surrounded by streams and clear springs, he flew cautiously toward the hall. The Dark Elf Forest. Levi was busy. He chanted a spell, and all the undead spirits hidden in the forest flew into the Book of the Undead. The corpse demon and alchemical creatures were stored in the ring. The transcendent creatures were all lying on Sawkin's back. He then erased all traces of his life. It was as if he was fleeing for his life. In fact, that was indeed the case. Now that the battlefield has been set up, I'll leave this place to you. Levi's heart was calm. He did not set up any arrays here. Everything looked as if he had fled. Something that could alarm these 5th circle powerhouses must be something in the underground square. Whether it's the remains of the Dark Elf Mistress or the Pandora's Root, they must be extraordinary. Although my danger perception didn't give any warning, based on my years of intuition, there's definitely something wrong with that skeleton. Danger perception was not absolutely accurate. Some experts could block this kind of prediction. For example, when he was ambushed by the mysterious organization in the Nether capital, there was no warning. Therefore, for 4 years, Levi did not dare to look into it even though he knew that it might be a treasure. Chapter 1195, Entering the Dark Elf Forest. Both the Primordial Soul Wizard and the Dark Elf Mistress were genuine level 6 experts. How could Levi guess their methods? Therefore, Levi planned to use this opportunity to let those guys test the waters first. If there were no problems, he would pay a visit and snatch it back. If there was a problem, then he could avoid a disaster. In short, to Levi, the remains and roots were not necessities. Even if he didn't get it in the end, he wouldn't regret it. At most, he would feel a little regretful. After finishing all of this, Levi left the Dark Elf Forest and found a barren mountain range to hide himself and the transcendent creatures. He opened the Tea Time Round Table and pulled the Blood Knights who were training in the Dusk Holy Temple over. Moving forward, arrange for some people to monitor the projection on the 4th floor of the ancient tower. Focus on monitoring the battles between the level 5 experts. After Levi finished speaking, he sent over the information he had collected on the experts of the Eastern Continent and the Western Continent. He wasn't sure who it was, but it was definitely the person in charge of those large organizations. Understood. The Blood Knight nodded and left the round table. Levi exhaled and smiled. Let me see who it is that wants to mess with my Bone King. At that time, my Bone King's good brother, the three-headed dragon abomination, will definitely pay a visit. This empty city tactic was to first test the strength of the remains through these people. Secondly, through his danger perception, Levi could confirm that there was more than one fifth circle wizard. Otherwise, with his current strength, he would not have such a strong sense of danger. Thus, he needed to avoid them. Thirdly, if Levi were to fight against those people in the Dark Elf Forest, his Bone King identity and the three-headed dragon abomination identity would definitely be linked together. At that time, it would be inevitable for people to guess that Bone King and Dragon Abomination were the same person, and then guess that Dragon Abomination was a wizard in disguise. Although it was unlikely that they would be able to find Levi through this relationship, it was better to avoid such a situation. Now that everything was ready, there was still the most critical problem. That was how to make it such that these people's actions would be projected on the live stream. According to his current observations, he had already concluded the pattern of the Ancient Tower's projection. First of all, not every battle would be projected by the Ancient Tower. The activation of the Ancient Tower's projection was mainly divided into the following situations. First, the battle between the participants of the Ancient Tower. Second, the participants of the Ancient Tower would fight each other at the teleportation portal on each floor. Third, the battle between the Ancient Tower participants and the Lord-tier natives, for example, the giant green crab, which was a boss-level monster on each level, as well as fighting ordinary natives on that floor, would not trigger the projection. For this reason, Levi had already made some insignificant changes to the array in the underground square. If these people really went there, it would definitely give them a big surprise. At the same time, there were a few inconspicuous flying scythe beasts in the wind disaster stratum, acting as Levi's eyes and ears. Everything was set up properly, waiting for the enemy to enter. 3 days later. Above the Dark Elf Forest. 3 auras surrounded him from 3 directions. 3 powerful spiritual forces scanned the Dark Elf Forest like radar. After an unknown period of time, these 3 auras gathered together, and their expressions were solemn. Have you found any traces of Bone King? Asked Wizard Blazing Fire with a puzzled expression. The Black Thunder Wizard shook his head. Wanda had a fiery temper. He directly said, "It seems that Bone King is not worthy of his reputation. Perhaps he heard the news that we are coming and has already escaped." Wizard Blazing Fire said with a solemn expression, "If he really escaped, that would undoubtedly be for the best. I'm just afraid that this is a trap deliberately set by Bone King. Forget it, since we're already here, the 3 of us should be on guard to prevent Bone King from ambushing us." Let's continue. When I was investigating just now, I felt that something was wrong in the middle of the forest. There should be something underground, said the Black Thunder Wizard. After saying that, black lightning surrounded his body and turned into a bolt of lightning that entered. It seemed that he was also bold. Wizard Wanda and Wizard Blazing Fire quickly followed to prevent being beaten. After the 3 wizards entered the underground. In the void high up in the sky, a large eyeball suddenly appeared and blinked. Thousands of miles away. In a hidden place. The old woman from the witch's family's forehead split open and a strange eyeball opened. ERS eyeballs were like a projector, projecting images into the void. Granny's eye bloodline technique is really powerful. Those 3 fellows didn't even notice it. The coquettish witch in Lilith's cabin praised. She was even more wary of this old woman. It was too convenient for her to peep at other people's privacy with this kind of spell. Humph. The old woman withdrew the projection and said coldly, "This eye bloodline technique consumes a lot of mental energy. I've paid such a huge price. Now all of you should know how sincere I am. The 5 of us should work together and don't harbor any ulterior motives. Of course. However, from the looks of the current situation, it seems that Bone King has already fled. Even his pet, the giant green crab, has fled. I was thinking of letting Bone King and them both suffer heavy losses while we reap the benefits, but now it seems that it won't work," the body-refining wizard muttered to himself. Runes flickered on his strong muscles, which contained explosive power. The old man from the 7 Waters steeple said, "I know a little about arrays. How about this? Everyone, follow me to set up the array. We'll go catch an easy target." Chapter 1196, An Array Within an Array. Sure. The old woman nodded. However, every time this array is used, it will consume a lot of resources and ether stones. The old man hesitated and smiled bitterly. The glamorous witch said, "Aren't you just worried that you'll be at a disadvantage? We'll split and share the cost with you." After hearing that, the old man heaved a sigh of relief and said with a smile, "Let's go then." 5 figures left the area and snuck into the dark elf forest, setting up an array in the center. This array covered a very wide area. From the looks of it, it was probably a 5th circle array. The 5 wizards each took out a large pile of ether stone and injected them into the array. And underground, 3 figures had already appeared at the edge of the square, blocked by the grand array. When they saw the tall and slender skeleton of a humanoid creature in the middle of the square, they were all shocked. It really is a dark elf. It's been tens of thousands of years, but its bones are still as smooth as jade. It's no wonder it's a level 6 expert. Even I feel uncomfortable from the residual power it's emitting, said Wizard Wanda. The wizard Blazing Fire said, "Look at the remains of the dark elf, there's a tree root there, isn't it? That's the legendary Pandora's root." This was the origin root that had been cut off from Pandora's mother tree. 300,000 years ago, when the Congress was founded, a grand witch once obtained a similar root from Lord Sauron. 300,000 years later, the root of the source has grown into a magic tree, protecting the witch's family for 300,000 years. Wanda said, "It takes 300,000 years to grow into a magic tree. Legendary wizards would have died 30 times already." "If that's the case, Wizard Blazing Fire, go get it, and we'll split it equally," said the Black Thunder Wizard. The Wizard Blazing Fire smiled and said, "Although I don't understand array, I can see that this remains was sealed by a level 6 array. Everyone, let's not hold back. We will attack the array together. The power of the array is less than 10% now. It should not take long to break it." "How do we divide the root?" asked Wizard Wanda. Wizard Blazing Fire thought for a moment and said, "If we can cut it open, we'll split it into 3. We'll each take a piece. If we can't, then I don't want the root anymore. I want the remains of the Dark Elf Mistress. You two can split the root among yourselves. It doesn't matter if I suffer a little. The important thing is not to hurt our relationship." The other two looked hesitant. They looked at each other. Then Wizard Wanda said, "Let's do that for now. If there are other treasures, we'll split them equally." "Sure," said the Wizard Blazing Fire. They each chose their positions and their innate spells appeared. Behind the Wizard Blazing Fire, a giant red centipede shadow appeared and circled behind him. Black thunder balls appeared in the Black Thunder Wizard's palm. Wizard Wanda waved his hand, and a 10-story tall stone statue appeared. 3 attacks attacked the array. Boom! As the array trembled, the 3 wizards' faces lit up. As expected, array no longer has the power of a 6th circle spirit beast. The next moment, something unexpected happened. The array emitted light, and array items shot out, automatically starting to set up. This array item did not have an ancient aura. It was obvious that it was newly refined. Wizard Wanda's expression changed. "Oh no, that Bone King is indeed up to no good. He hid his array in an ancient array. The moment we made a move, we triggered the array restriction. Damn it, we've been tricked." The broken 6th circle array burst out with a dazzling light and instantly enveloped the 3 wizards. On the other side, Levi sat cross-legged in the shelter. He had already learned about the situation here through the video and the flying scythe beasts. The Burning Battle Group, the Colossus Divine Tower, the Thunder God's Hammer, and the Sea Covenant. A total of 8 5th circle wizards came. Fortunately, I retreated in advance. He used the array he had set up as a primer to activate part of the power of the sealing array. It was enough for these 3 5th circle wizards to suffer a little. Of course, with their strength, they would be able to break through it very quickly. Levi did not expect them to stay. He was curious about what would happen if the 3 underground met the 5 above. Underground. The 3 5th circle wizards displayed their abilities and finally broke free from the restraints of the array. The Black Thunder Wizard said gloomily, "It seems that the Bone King has been here before. It's just that he didn't take away the remains and roots. Perhaps he was afraid." Wizard Wanda cursed, "Damn it! This Bone King couldn't get it, so he set a trap to disgust us. He's really despicable. I better not meet him." Wizard Blazing Fire said, "But from the looks of it, the power of this broken array won't be able to cause us too much trouble. Be careful." It shouldn't be a problem to take away the Pandora's root and the remains of the Dark Elf Mistress. After saying that, the wizard Blazing Fire entered the center of the array. He smoothly put away the remains and pulled the Pandora's root out of the ground. This thing was still alive, so he couldn't put it in his storage ring. He thought for a moment, and the flaming saber appeared on his finger. The flaming saber that could cut through gold and jade did not cut off the Pandora's root. He hesitated for a moment and handed it over to Wizard Wanda, who was eyeing it covetously. I keep my word. This thing is yours. Wizard Wanda held the Pandora's root and looked at the Black Thunder Wizard. He said, let's retreat first. Then we'll discuss how to distribute it. This place feels a little strange. The Black Thunder Wizard nodded in agreement. Chapter 1197, The Effect of Pandora's Root. The three of them immediately flew out. Suddenly, the wizard Blazing Fire's expression changed. Wait, there's someone outside. The three of them quickly flew out of the ground. In the next moment, there was a rumbling sound. However, they realized that they had fallen into the trap of the array. Blazing Fire, hand over the treasure and I will let you go, the old woman sneered. The 5 wizards of the Sea Covenant had surrounded the three of them from all directions. You think you can trap us with this trashy 5th circle array? Wizard Blazing Fire sneered. Cut the crap. Kill these 3 and we'll split the treasures equally, said the beautiful witch. The array was activated. In an instant, the scene was in chaos as the two sides fought. At this point, it did not matter whether the wizard Blazing Fire or the others had obtained the treasure or not. For the Sea Covenant, they were only looking for an opportunity to destroy the organizations in the eastern continent. In this way, the entire 4th floor would be controlled by the 5 big organizations of the Endless Sea. Soon, the inferior 5th circle array was torn apart by the energy fluctuations of the battle. The battle between the 8 5th circle wizards was earth-shattering. Through the projection, Levi could see the methods of these people so that he could revisit them in the future. Not long after, the battle in the Dark Elf Forest had reached its climax. Although the Sea Covenant had the advantage in numbers, the wizard Blazing Fire and the others were doing their best to survive. Levi looked at the damaged plants with heartache and cursed these people as beasts. They did not know how to think about the future. If they wanted to fight, they should have fought outside. Soon, the battle situation changed. Black clouds suddenly gathered in the sky. Then, a ball of black heavenly lightning descended and exploded in the sky above the forest. The old woman's expression changed drastically. Damn it, this is Black Annihilation Thunder Explosion. Seeing that the situation was not good, the Black Thunder Wizard did not want the Pandora's root anymore. He directly exhausted all the Black Oblivion Thunder in his body, forming a terrifying explosion, forcing everyone back, and then he fled. The power of the Black Annihilation Thunder Explosion was something that even 5th Circle senior wizards would be wary of. The old woman and the beautiful witch were both infected by the Black Thunder, and they could not get rid of it no matter what. I, Black Thunder, will remember today's grudge. The Black Thunder Wizard fled, and the pressure on Wizard Blazing Fire and Wizard Wanda increased exponentially. It seemed that they would not be able to hold on for long. The heavy punch from the body refining wizard made Wizard Wanda vomit blood. His protective force field had been shattered, and he could only use the Pandora's root in his hand to block the attack of the body refining wizard. Boom! In the next moment, along with the sound of bones breaking, the Pandora's root was forcefully injected into Wizard Wanda's body. Blood and flesh flew everywhere as he let out a heart-wrenching scream. Then, something even more terrifying happened. With the appearance of a green light, the blood in Wizard Wanda's body began to be sucked dry in an instant. As for the Pandora's root, it took root and sprouted in his body. Soon, Wizard Wanda's body was hollowed out, and a humanoid tree root creature appeared. The tree roots formed her skeleton, the tree bark formed her flesh and skin, the leaves formed her thick hair, and the flowers became her organs. Her ears were pointed, and her figure was tall and slender. Her waist was slender, and her slender branches bore fruit. She had long, slender legs with golden proportions, and her healthy tan skin revealed a different kind of wild beauty. Phew, I've finally seen the light of day again. Thank you, Pandora Matriarch. Thank you, little cuties. Now, all of you will become nourishment for me. Behind her, roots grew wildly and spread out, turning into tentacles that attacked the 5th Circle wizards. Wizard Blazing Fire, who was closest to him, was the first to bear the brunt of the attack. His expression changed drastically. How is that possible? The Dark Elf Mistress has been dead for tens of thousands of years. He used his force field to resist the tentacles. Ka. Cracks appeared on the force field, but it managed to withstand them. Wizard Blazing Fire was overjoyed. He knew that Mistress Rose had yet to recover her full strength. From the looks of it, she was only at the 5th Circle senior level. However, if she absorbed more flesh and blood of the 5th Circle wizards, she would probably become even stronger. The 5 wizards from the Sea Covenant also began to run when they saw that something was wrong. It was obvious that the old monster who had been killed and sealed for tens of thousands of years had been resurrected. Although this was against common sense, at this point, they could only run. Trying to run. Rose screamed in horror. At the same time, she opened her mouth and spat out a white spider web. Like lightning, it trapped the old woman of the witch's family. She exerted force and the old woman was pulled over. Her branch-like fingers stabbed into her body. Not long after, the old woman turned into a dried corpse. The dried corpse was already hollow as if it was woven by tree roots. Green leaves and white flowers grew on the surface of the corpse. Her aura rose a little more, but it was not as obvious as before. In just a short while, 2 5th Circle wizards had fallen. The other 5th Circle wizards scattered in different directions. Rose picked up the spoils of war on the ground, randomly picked a direction, and chased after a wizard. Suddenly, the dark elf forest fell silent. Levi, who was watching the projection from afar, gulped. Damn it, I knew there was something strange, but I thought there was something wrong with the remains. Now it seems that there's something wrong with the roots. She had been dead for tens of thousands of years. How could she be resurrected? Or could it be that this matriarch is not dead at all? Levi couldn't figure it out. Anyway, it had something to do with the Pandora's root. It's over now. These guys released a demon. The 4th level won't be peaceful anymore. Chapter 1198, Pitting Opponents Together. Levi did not dare to have any ideas about the Dark Elf Mistress. What a joke! Even if a former 6th Circle existence had fallen to the 5th Circle realm, all kinds of unfathomable methods must have emerged one after another. Moreover, this mistress might recover her strength to the 6th Circle realm in a few days. I can't stay in the sea continent anymore. I might as well go to the sea and cultivate for a period of time. Thinking of this, Levi left the continent with Sawkins. Next, the continent was going to be in chaos. Let those top organizations fight with that mistress first. He continued to watch from the sidelines to prevent himself from being implicated. Several days later, at a remote sea area on the 4th level, Levi found a place to stay. It was an uninhabited island. He set up the array and placed the transcendent creatures in place before starting his cultivation. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. Levi's chariot rune had been upgraded to level 10, and its speed had increased by 90%. He could run even faster now. When Levi was not cultivating, he would watch the projection battle on the 4th floor. He saw that the 5th Circle wizards of Lilith's cabin, the Hurricane Steeple, the Burning Army, and the 7 Waters Steeple were all killed by Rose and turned into dried corpses. Rose's strength was getting stronger and stronger, and she should be close to attaining perfection in the 5th Circle. The most recent projection was of Rose appearing at the portal. She had an argument with the wizards near the portal and turned them into dried corpses before entering the portal. This made Levi puzzled and he thought, what is Mistress Rose doing on the 5th floor? Based on his current observations, Rose did not kill the innocent. She had only killed a few 5th Circle wizards and raised her strength to perfection in 5th Circle before quickly heading to the 5th floor. But no matter what, he was finally relieved. Just like the foreigners, a native like Rose couldn't return to the lower levels from the upper levels. Ever since she was resurrected, Rose had killed 6 5th Circle wizards. It had a profound impact on the power structure of the 4th level. The resource points that originally belonged to these top organizations were quickly divided up by the remaining organizations. Thunderhammer, Valley of a Thousand Wines, Ocean Abyss Alliance. These 3 families became the final winners. This made the leaders of the top wizard organizations in the outside world scold their own wizards for being stupid. They just had to collect resources obediently. Why did they have to cause trouble and explore the dangerous ancient sealed land? Now, they had lost both money and manpower, and the last 3 forces had benefited in exchange for nothing. Levi was on an isolated island overseas, sitting on the mountain and watching the tigers fight. Now, the only great enemy that could threaten him had already gone to the 5th level. The plan to get the powerful opponents to fight and eliminate each other was complete. Although there were some errors, it was not a big deal. The time to clear the accounts was up. Next, it was time for the three-headed evil dragon to appear. Sawkins, look after this place and protect everyone. I'll be gone for a while. He threw a bag of fate coins to Sawkins and the giant green crab nodded in satisfaction. Then, Levi's figure flashed and disappeared. The first place he headed to was Thundercloud Swamp. That was the Thunderhammer's resource point. There was a high chance that the Black Thunder Wizard would be hiding there. Thundercloud Swamp. Outside a pitch-black wizard tower, layers of array protected it. The Black Thunder Wizard was currently cultivating. His complexion was not bad, and he looked high-spirited. He was glad that he had left the battle earlier. Otherwise, if Rose had resurrected, he would have died on the spot. At that time, there were a total of 8 wizards at the scene. Except for him and the one from the Ocean Abyss Alliance, the others all died miserably, turning into dried corpses covered in green leaves and flowers. From the clues he had obtained, Rose had already left the sea continent and was most likely heading to the 5th floor. After the reshuffle, there was only a handful of 5th Circle wizards in the entire sea continent, including the Hidden Bone King. And Black Thunder Wizard's true strength should be one of the best among these people. After he was done with the organization's matters, he was going to start refining the oddities he had obtained previously. He took out the Thunder Worm Chrysalis. The purple worm struggled in his hand, but it could not escape. You're just a rare Earth-grade oddity. It's your honor to let me refine it. When I complete my 3rd circle talent, my strength will improve. With the Black Oblivion Thunder, I'm almost invincible to those below the 5th circle senior level. Ha ha ha. At this moment, he suddenly felt a powerful aura flying over without any concealment. Oh no, could it be that the mistress has returned? He immediately opened the wizard tower's grand array and flew out. He saw a ferocious dragon abomination shooting over in midair. In its hand, it suddenly held a purple spiked club. Boom! Purple light burst forth, and a terrifying force swept out. The array around his wizard tower was destroyed in an instant. Under this extreme force, the array was as fragile as paper. Level 5 Dragon Abomination. He was terrified and released his innate technique at the same time. Rumble. Black thunder pervaded and descended from the sky, striking the dragon abomination. Even a 5th circle senior wizard would not dare to take my Black Oblivion Thunder head-on. Arrogant alien race, die. Just as he finished speaking, Dragon Abomination's body suddenly swelled in the lightning light, and dragon horns appeared. His speed was like lightning, appearing in front of the Black Thunder Wizard. Eat this stick! Boom! The Black Thunder Wizard dodged quickly, his force field flashing. As the spiked club fell, the ground cracked and the swamp trembled. You! Are you the 3-headed dragon abomination that destroyed the Letney family branch? He suddenly remembered the incident 4 years ago. Chapter 1199, Attack of the Dragon Abomination. Damn it, this dragon sin is actually still on the 4th level. Could it be that he got lost and still hasn't found the teleportation portal? He dodged while retreating. Levi raised his spiked club high and charged forward. The wizard tower was turned into dust under the impact of the spiked club. Levi shouted arrogantly, "Don't run, human. Come and fight me like a man. You're the one who forced me." The Black Thunder Wizard, who had been suppressed and fleeing like a rat, roared angrily. His face was ashen, and his veins were bulging. He was a dignified 5th circle wizard, and he had his dignity. Black Annihilation. Thunder Explosion. He did not hesitate to use his most powerful innate spell. Last time, he had used this move to repel the people from the Sea Covenant and escape. Good. 5 giant dragon Dharma idols appeared behind that dragon abomination. Terrifying thunderstorms covered heaven and earth, unable to be avoided, drowning dragon abomination within. Die! The Black Thunder Wizard panted heavily. This move would use up all of his Black Oblivion Thunder. This was his strongest trump card. Without this thunder, he would be an ordinary lightning school of thought wizard. Suddenly, the shadow of a 3-headed dragon god that was as black as ink and as tall as a 20-story building appeared in the black lightning sea. The dragon god wielded his sword and slashed down. The surrounding lightning and thunder were swept back by the sword chi and destroyed. Levi sat on the 6 heavenly god's head, safe and sound. He was a little shocked. This Black Thunder Wizard is quite capable. The thunder just now was a little strange. To be safe, I should use 6 heavenly gods to kill him. Originally, Levi had wanted to see if he could kill a 5th circle without using the 6 heavenly gods, but he decided against it. Seeing this scene, the Black Thunder Wizard did not hesitate at all. He immediately turned into a bolt of lightning and fled. If the other party could take his strongest move head-on, then what was the point of attacking him? Even a 5th circle senior wizard might not be his match. Do you think you can flee? Levi sneered. With a wave of his hand, the 6 heavenly gods strode forward, wrapped in black flames, tearing apart the scarlet dark dimension and chasing after him. His current speed was faster than the Black Thunder Wizard. In the distance, the Black Thunder Wizard suddenly stopped in front of him. The 3-headed dragon god descended from the sky and slashed down with his sword. A black ribbon filled the sky. In his field of vision, there was only this extremely resplendent sword chi. At the same time, the cloak, golden shield, 3,000 feather blades, and other divine weapons sealed it up. This sword had locked onto him. The 5th circle wizard weapon revolved around him, and a massive amount of spell power surged into the force field. Boom! This was accompanied by a shocking explosion. The wizard tool was cut in half by the black flame longsword. The runes on it dimmed, indicating that it was broken. The Black Thunder Wizard could not care less about his heartache. He drank some precious potions to recover his strength and used his force field defense. However, the force field also lasted for a moment before it shattered. 3,000 feather blades shot out, turning the Black Thunder Wizard into a sieve. The Black Thunder Wizard's eyes were unfocused, and the light in his eyes eventually faded. He had died. After clearing the battlefield, Levi said calmly, "Another boring one." In the past, he would be excited for a long time because he had killed a 5th circle. Now, he was no longer excited. These ordinary 5th circle wizards were no longer challenging. After 4 years of hibernation and the advancement of the Crimson Emperor Dragon, he also gained the support of the 6 heavenly gods, the Strength Rune, and other special forms. His attack power had already reached an extremely terrifying level, and he could easily tear through these people's defenses. After dealing with the other small fries, Levi collected all his spoils of war and left the Thundercloud Swamp. The next place is the Valley of 1,000 of Wines. Realm of Thunder. The home of the Black Thunder Wizard, the Thunder Divine Tower. This 3-headed dragon abomination has a grudge with our lightning school of thought, right? Last time, it was the Letney family. This time, it's us. They're bullying our lightning faction. This is too infuriating. Does he think that our lightning faction has no one? He's too arrogant. He's simply detestable. Seniors on the 5th level, you must kill him. Otherwise, how would our Thunder Divine Tower have any pride left? In the wizard world, a storm was brewing. Especially the lightning school of thought, they were all puzzled as to why Dragon Abomination was always targeting them. Could it be that he was a competitor of another sect? For a time, conspiracy theories were rampant. Several days later, Dragon Abomination appeared in the Valley of 1,000 of Wines again. The Valley of 1,000 of Wines base was destroyed. The 5th circle wizard from Hurricane Sky Island finally self-destructed, but he was unable to hurt Dragon Abomination. After that, the wizard of the Ocean Abyss Alliance heard the news and rushed to the 5th floor overnight, completely giving up on the 4th floor. At this moment, the wizard realized that this Dragon Abomination was not targeting the Lightning School of Thought, but the top organizations of the entire wizard world. It was as if he was saying that what they were sitting on was trash. They even saw that 3-headed Dragon Abomination kill a level 4 Dragon Abomination that had angered him. This guy even beat up his own people when he went crazy. With such a posture, he was definitely Dragon Abomination without a doubt. Dusk Holy Temple. The knights were silent, their blood boiling. What kind of peerless ferocious dragon is this? In just a few days, he has stepped on the entire wizard world. Dragon Abomination is too strong. Hurry up and cultivate to become stronger. Otherwise, when they invade in the future, we won't have the strength to retaliate at all. Endless Sea, Witch's family, in Triss's cabin. Triss looked worried. The entire 4th level was in a mess because of Mistress Rose and the 3-headed Dragon Abomination. The original structure was completely broken. At this point, all the branches of the top wizard organizations were either destroyed or escaped to the 5th floor. Moreover, be it Mistress Rose or the 3-headed Dragon Abomination, they did not take those resource points for themselves. Instead, they disappeared without a trace. That dragon abomination seemed to only enjoy the process of killing and did not have the intention of occupying the mountain and becoming king. The top-tier organizations had been destroyed. The nomadic wizards would be celebrating now. Sigh. If this dragon abomination reaches the 5th level, it will probably stir up a storm of blood. Triss was a little worried about Anya. In the blink of an eye. 2 months passed. Year 1175 of the Holy Brilliance calendar, the month of vitality. Year 10 of the Dark Ancient Tower calendar. The 4th level. On the nameless island in the sea breeze blew and waves bloomed. Levi sat comfortably in front of the thatched cottage like an old farmer, looking at the mountain of spoils of war in front of him. All the landowners have been exterminated. The 4th level is peaceful now. I can be considered to be working for the welfare of the lower class of the wizard world. He only took away the most valuable and ready-made resources. Those that he did not have the time and energy to collect were left for the vast number of nomadic wizards. Almost all the resource points had become ownerless. For a time, a bloody storm broke out on the sea continent. All of this had nothing to do with Levi. He just wanted to slowly digest his gains on this uninhabited island. In the days to come, facing the sea, spring would be warm and flowers would bloom. Chapter 1200, Self-Created Combat Skill, Heavenly Dragon Sword Manual. 1. Dark Ancient Tower, 4th floor, Sea Continent. A few days later, Levi finished tallying the spoils he had seized in recent times. In total, Levi had obliterated 2 wizard organizations, Thunder God's Hammer and Valley of 1,000 Wines, along with some nomadic wizards who were unfortunate enough to get caught in the conflict. Despite the apparent excitement, the casualties were minimal. He had mainly taken down 2 5th Circle wizards. Levi wasn't about to unleash a massacre on all wizards. Such a move would only backfire on him, considering the sheer number of wizards. If any were pretending to be weak, he would have been in trouble. However, despite these considerations, the haul was substantial. A total of 3 million ether stones. Levi's reserves now topped a staggering 15 million. Even during his time in the wizard world, he had never been this affluent. It could only be said that these top-tier wizard organizations were incredibly wealthy. They had brought so many ether stones into the ancient tower. Additionally, Levi confiscated 2 5th Circle wizard tools. One was contributed by the Black Thunder wizard and the other by the Valley of 1,000 Wines. Most other 5th Circle wizards didn't even possess 5th Circle wizard tools, yet Levi now had more than he could use. Furthermore, there were substantial resources of medicinal herbs and ores. If these resources were brought back to the wizard world, Levi could likely establish a 5th Circle wizard family from scratch. Levi discovered that he had nearly perfected the formula for the Demon Soul Potion, used to aid meditation beyond the 5th Circle. By the time he had advanced past the 5th Circle, he no longer had to worry about the meditation supplementary potion for that stage. It's all thanks to the Dark Ancient Tower. If I were in the wizard world, with my status, gathering so many materials would be as difficult as reaching the heavens. His knowledge of spells and the 3 arts of wizardry had also expanded significantly. Apart from the standard rewards, Levi was surprised to find 2 items on the Black Thunder wizard. One of these was a truth oddity. He extended his hand, and a chubby purple worm appeared in his palm. It wriggled incessantly, occasionally sparking with lightning that even the force field of an intermediate wizard's couldn't withstand. Consulting Levi's Truth Oddity Illustrated Guide, he learned it was an Earth-grade oddity. It was the thunder worm chrysalis. This oddity could only form in places saturated with thunder elements under specific conditions. The thunder worm chrysalis was just the initial form of this oddity. Given safe incubation for thousands of years in a thunderous environment, it could potentially evolve into a sky-grade oddity, the thunder butterfly. Its capabilities would far surpass those of the thunder worm chrysalis. Of course, Levi couldn't afford to wait for centuries for its transformation. He needed to refine it immediately. The second discovery was a constantly vanishing black lightning ball. The lightning ball trembled in Levi's palm as if imbued with its consciousness. Levi initially had no clue about this object, but within the Black Thunder Wizard's ring lay a tome titled Illustrated Guide to Strange Thunder. This book detailed nearly 100 variations of lightning discovered by wizards of the lightning school of thought. Most lightning in the world was basic purple lightning, the fundamental technique of the lightning school of thought, such as that used by the Thunder Dragon family. However, beyond purple lightning, there existed a diverse array of peculiar lightning types. These variants varied widely in power. Some surpassed purple lightning, like the golden lightning of the Letni family. Some had apparent power weaker than purple lightning, like one called 10,000 poison lightning. While its basic destructive force was poor, it possessed extremely strong negative energy toxicity, capable of corroding everything, even the primordial souls of high-level wizards. The Black Thunder Wizard wielded a type known as Black Oblivion Thunder. Its lethality matched purple lightning, but its unique trait was its remarkable adhesion. When it struck, it inflicted continuous damage akin to maggots in bone, requiring prolonged efforts to remove. Thus, its actual potency rivaled even golden lightning. These strange lightning variants resembled truth oddities, naturally occurring and nurtured phenomena. Unlike oddities, if the owner of such lightning perished, it could reform and select a new master. In terms of rarity, Black Oblivion Thunder even exceeded the Thunder Worm Chrysalis. Levi carefully sealed it in a specially crafted container for future study, prioritizing the refinement of the truth oddity. Drawing from his previous refining experiences, Levi found the process smoother this time. Half a year later, he successfully refined this peculiar item. Inside the island, Levi opened his eyes, lightning gleaming within. He introspected into his mind and discovered that within the Divine Ring Tower, 441 spiritual stars had already coalesced. He placed his hand on the Klein crystal ball. Spiritual force, 441/540. Spell power, 20,250. Unfortunately, this oddity didn't directly enhance my spiritual force, Levi sighed. It seemed not all oddities could boost one's spiritual strength directly. Only exceptional items like Scythe Breath achieved that. However, the Thunder Worm Chrysalis could enhance the potency of thunder element spells. Levi tested it and noted a significant increase in the Thunder Dragon Flash's speed. Moreover, for those with just 2/3 circle talents, the Thunder Worm Chrysalis could compensate for their deficiencies and complete their talents. As a 6th talented 4th circle wizard himself, Levi didn't require this function. Yet, he sensed his Thunder Dragon Flash talent had subtly changed. Presumably, for a wizard like him already brimming with talent, truth oddities could have compensated for inherent flaws and gaps in his abilities, which would have been beneficial for advancing his primordial soul.